And welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. Should be a good game tonight between the Texas Rangers and Seattle Mariners. Appreciate you guys joining us live. Let's get right to the game action. Game is already underway. Luis Castillo getting the start for the Seattle Mariners, their ace. The Mariners have won the first two games of the series, and Castillo gets Semien to pop up here for the first out of the game. Mariners have deployed a little bit of a different strategy over the last 48 hours or so, making Corey Seager really try to chase the ball. That worked in game one. Game two, he did issue a couple of walks in that one. Corey Seager, though, was pulled halfway through the game, as that game was out of reach 8-0 after the grand slam from J.P. Crawford really put that one out of reach for the Rangers. It is now 0-0 here in the top of the first. 3-2 count here to Seager, and he chases that one, unable to lay off of that high fastball. Up and away, two away here quickly in the top of the first inning. For the Rangers, it'll be Semien, Seager, and Grossman. He plays DH today, followed by Adolis Garcia. Nathaniel Lowe moves up a little bit today into that 5 spot, and followed by Josh Young, Jonah Heim, Leody Taveras, and Evan Carter. Castillo, 4-pitch pitcher. Fastball, sinker, slider, and changeup. Another fastball here, swing and a miss by Grossman. Rangers really need to get a win here. Hopefully tonight, if you're a Rangers fan, because this really is, what it all comes down to right now. They need to get a win to get into the postseason. They need 2 wins to be able to win the division. So this has kind of been their task ever since the start of this series. Have been unable to do so as of yet. We'll see if they find the magic sauce today. The 0-2 pitch misses up and away. 1-2. Rangers really had their best opportunity to take advantage of the way the starting rotation fell for them yesterday, when they really dominated Bryan Woo in a couple of starts earlier this year. And Woo, even though he gave up a lot of walks early in the game, really never gave up that big hit. And even though he was pulled, he was able to steady the lineup, or steady the game anyway, for the Mariners. Mariners were able to keep the Rangers scoreless in the entirety of that one. Only 3 hits allowed by that Mariners pitching staff yesterday. Meanwhile, Nathan Eovaldi, their starter, the Texas Rangers starter yesterday, looked really crisp in the first 2 innings, back to pre-All-Star Nathan Eovaldi for the first time in his return from injury. It's been about 5 starts now, and that was the first time he ever looked like the old Nathan Eovaldi, and then it just fell apart in the 3rd inning, missing locations, and then, as I mentioned, that grand slam by Crawford yesterday. This one's fouled off, and it remains 2-2 here to Grossman. 7th pitch of the at-bat. This one's lined into center. This one will get down in front of Rodriguez. Nice piece of work there by Robbie Grossman, who's really seen his playing time dip a little bit with the arrival of Evan Carter in the big leagues. He is now the the right-handed complement, if you will, at that spot. Rangers giving Mitch Garver the day off. They had really been trying to ride that same lineup for the better part of the last week and change, just trying to get this thing over the finish line. And you can just see some players are starting to wear down a little bit. So we'll see if Grossman getting back in there gives him a little bit of a juice. Adolis Garcia digs in, takes strike 1, has 39 home runs and 107 RBIs this year, both career highs. This one's up and in, but fouled back, and it's quickly 0-2. Game is in Seattle. Again, tomorrow will be the finale of the season for the Rangers and Mariners. That game will be at 2 o'clock. We will not have that one for you, more than likely. If this one is won by the Texas Rangers, we'll probably end up doing the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins game for you guys tomorrow. If the Mariners do win this one, we will have that finale for you as well. So if you're a Mariners fan, you want to watch us tomorrow, keep cheering for your Mariners. Swing and a miss there by Adolis. He goes down swinging. And that is the end of the top half of the first inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Texas. No runs, no hits, no errors for Seattle. For the Mariners, they will have J.P. Crawford once again leading things off for them. He has been absolutely a man ablaze right now, just doing everything at the top of the lineup right now that the Mariners could ever hope for. Julio Rodriguez has had a nice season so far, and right neck and neck with Marcus Semien for most hits in the American League. And then you have Eugenio Suarez moved up in the lineup recently, up to that 3 spot. Had a big double in last night's game. Cal Raleigh in that 4 spot, followed by Teoscar Hernandez and Dylan Moore. Ty France gets the start at first. Rojas, who had a big homer the other night, gets the start at second, and Haggerty is your designated hitter hitting ninth. A little bit of a different lineup than we've seen in other games so far in this series. They usually like to go with the right and left-handed platoons. Today's lineup a little bit of a mix of both. Rangers will counter with Andrew Heaney on the mound. Not expecting him to go very deep in this one. He was just in the game in the first game of the series and was able to get out of a jam in that one. But he's pitched a little bit over the last few days, not just in that one as well. So I don't expect him to get probably more than 3-4 innings in this one at best. If the Rangers can get, say, 3 or 4 innings out of Andrew Heaney, I'm sure they'd be more than happy with that. But as it stands, Mariners have had played them tough so far. If they do that again, where they're making accounts go deep, those kinds of things, we might be looking at a 2 or a 3 inning start here for Heaney, and then they could quickly go to the bullpen with Martin Perez, Cody Bradford. Jake Latz pitched very well out of the bullpen last night, but he threw 2 innings. Unlikely they use him as a long man today. Chris Stratton has really struggled out of the bullpen over the last week and a half, but he was absolutely nails for the Rangers over the last month and a half when literally the rest of their entire bullpen wasn't able to get an out when needed. And it wasn't just one guy that was failing out there in the bullpen. It was be one guy one day, another guy would blow a tire the next. It was never the same guy failing. It just wasn't a very good, cohesive bullpen back there. Just they couldn't get out of their own way for the month of August and September. And that's where we are at the moment. Crawford digs in against the lefty Heaney. Heaney's seen his strikeout numbers really skyrocket ever since his time with the LA Dodgers. Rangers really pounced on that this offseason, even with the injury issue that he came into the season with, or injury concerns that he came into the season with. First pitch finds its way for a strike, and the second one bounces in there, now 1-1. Crawford hitting .266 on the year. Slider misses well outside. 2-1. The pitch off the inside corner, but fouled outside of third. 2-2. Or I should say on the inside corner. This season versus the Mariners, in 3 1/3 out of the bullpen, he hasn't given up a run or a hit. From a starting rotation spot, 9 2/3, has given up 6 runs and 10 hits. So it'll be interesting to see if the stint in the bullpen has allowed Heaney to find a new level of confidence or a new approach to hitters. Usually the first batter of the inning, we've noticed even in his relief appearances, he's a little bit erratic. Hard hit ball, right center field. This one is going to fall in front of Adolis. First batter reaches here. And Crawford keeps that hot streak going. Mariners have their leadoff man here in the bottom of the first inning. Welcome in, Travis, Cody. Not sure which is your first with the comma, but appreciate you joining us once again. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the heart in the chat. Say hello. Julio Rodriguez, only the second Mariner ever to have 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. Find that hard to believe. With Ken Griffey, etc. Sure, there's an addendum to the note we didn't see on the end of that. Rodriguez with 180 hits this year, second in the American League behind Marcus Semien. This one misses inside, 2-0. The 2-0. Lifted high behind home plate, and this one will get out of play. Heaney's been a little erratic so far. He's always been a little erratic, as most strikeout pitchers are, but out of the bullpen, he's at least been able to tamper it down a little bit more than usual. 3-pitch pitcher, 4-seam fastball, changeup, and a slider. The 2-1. Another slider there on the outer half of the plate, fouled back once again, and it's now 2-2. Nice work there by Heaney to even things up. Eugenio Suarez waits on deck. Remember, he came over from the Cincinnati Reds a couple years before the trade for Luis Castillo. This one right on the inside corner, maybe a hair, and I mean a hair, off the inside corner. It's now full, 3-2. Julio was the August Player of the Month, hitting .429 in that month with 7 homers, almost a 1,200 OPS. The 3-2, lifted high in the air, medium right field. Garcia is there and makes the play for the first out of the inning. Suarez next, hitting .232. He is susceptible to striking out, but he does get his fair share of walks, in addition to those power numbers with 21 home runs. He has played in every single game for the Mariners this season, this being game 161. The set by Heaney, and the pitch lifted high in the air again, down the first base line. Looks like this one's going to get out of play by about 5 or 6 rows. 0-1. You can see the score on the bottom of the screen right now. Marlins have a 1-1 tie against Pittsburgh at the moment. One of the other playoff races out there. The Blue Jays losing today, 7-5 against Tampa. The 0-1 here from Heaney misses low. Check swing is held back by Suarez, and it's 1-1. Bruce Bochy, in his first season as manager for Texas, has seen both the highest of highs with this team and the lowest of lows. One of the most volatile teams, one of the most volatile contenders, really, that we've ever seen in baseball history. Just the height of the offense early in the season. How good the starting pitching really was during that time. The bullpen was efficient at times early in the season, but there was still a glaring hole back there that they knew they had to correct. They made the addition of Aroldis Chapman early. He was very good for them in the beginning, but by and large, this bullpen has struggled the entirety of the season. Probably the most volatile bullpen that a contender has ever had going into a postseason, if the Rangers are actually able to get there. That bullpen still may end up costing them the season. They have so many blown saves this year. I've lost track of how many. 1-2 as that one's fouled off. The set by the lefty Heaney. And the pitch. Lifted high. Medium right field again for Adolis. Gets under it and makes the play for the second out of the inning. They're just trying to give all the action to Adolis so far. Cal Raleigh due up next, hitting .235, 30 home runs, leads all big league catchers in that category. Switch hitter is going to bat from the right side this time. Has played in 143 games. That's a lot for a catcher. Not saying he's caught all of those, but he's certainly got a fair share of at-bats. That one misses by about 1.5 feet outside. Again, he being a little erratic here in the first. 1-0 here to Raleigh. It would be a good sign if Heaney can get through this first unscathed with the erratic deliveries he's had so far. The 1-0. There's a strike right on the inside corner. Not where he was trying to throw that one. They were trying to go low and away. Rangers do clinch a playoff berth if they win tonight. Mariners would be eliminated from the playoffs with a loss and a Houston win tonight. Swing and a miss. Nice high fastball. That's what Heaney was really working well with his last time out in the first game of this series. Count is 1-2 as Raleigh steps out. Gather his thoughts. Capacity crowd there in Seattle, as you might expect. with them still in the race for a wild card spot. Incredible run by the Mariners in August and beginning of September to get as far as they've gotten so far. Another high fastball fouled back to the screen, getting just enough of it there as Raleigh. Remains 1-2. Thank you guys for the like. Appreciate that. The set here by Heaney. And the 22nd pitch of the inning. Misses a little inside. 2-2. Again, this is kind of what I figured with Heaney. If he gets deep into the count, like we've seen a couple of hitters so far, I'm expecting Heaney to probably go maybe 3 innings, probably 4 max at this point. But if he's made to work this much, they might have to pull the plug even before that. Little roller out to third. They go the short way to second, and Crawford is retired as he was jogging to second. That is the end of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for each side, and we are scoreless as we head to the top of the second. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight just to kind of check in on how the playoffs stand right now as we enter play today. Baltimore's clinched, of course, the American League. They are going to host all of their playoff series this year. So any of these teams in the wild card hunt, any of the teams trying to vie for an AL West crown are going to have to go through Baltimore to be able to get it done. The winner of the AL West will have the first round bye along with Baltimore. Then Minnesota will host either Texas, Houston, or Seattle, maybe even Toronto, depending on how the rest of the season goes. But Minnesota will host a wild card round series, as will the Tampa Bay Rays. Toronto looks like they're in good shape to win a wild card spot as well. But Seattle still on the outside looking in, could still jump into a playoff spot over either one of those two teams. On the NL side of things, it's been pretty much stagnant for the majority of the season, with Atlanta basically being out in front of everybody. Dodgers have run away with the division. Same thing with Milwaukee. Philadelphia has really run away with the top wild card. The final 2 spots are really where it's about right now on the NL side. Diamondbacks are the ones that are actually playing Houston right now. We'll be checking in on that game quite frequently. Right now they are a half game above Miami for that final wild card spot. I think Arizona is very likely to get that final or one of those wild card spots. Meanwhile, the Cubs are a game and a half out along with the Reds, but very unlikely that they're able to hop into one of those 2 spots. Miami right now tied with Pittsburgh, but they look to have a nice path to get into the postseason over the final couple games. But welcome back, Ryan. Appreciate you for joining us once again. But that's kind of where your American League standings are at the moment as we head to the top of the second. Castillo back out, threw 17 pitches in that first inning. Rangers really hoping Nathaniel Lowe can shake off whatever he's got going right now. He has not been very good offensively for the better part of the month. Was the American League Silver Slugger Award winner last year at first base and hasn't really lived up to that progression we saw last year. Really backed up a lot in the second half of this year. This time last year we were talking about him possibly taking over as one of the top 2 or 3 first baseman in all of the American League, maybe even having a conversation as being top 5 in all of baseball. But he's really not backed that up this year. 2-1 here. Fastball right down Broadway, fouled, or I should say lashed foul down the third base line. Castillo this year has thrown 194 innings. If he gets to 5 2/3 today, he will cross that 200 innings threshold. That one finishes well inside 3-2. Lowe does like to make the count work for him a little bit, so from that perspective, that is working for him. But there are times when he just needs to ambush the fastball when he's struggling, and that's the part he's really not had success with. Another high fastball, just able to make enough contact and keep it, or just able to get it foul enough anyway. Would have been an easy ground out to third if he had gotten a little bit more contact on it. 3-2 here to low. And that one misses a little bit high, and he works a full count walk there. So nice start here for Nathaniel Lowe in this one. Castillo's has a 192 opponent average versus his fastball this year. That's by far the lowest in all of baseball. Josh Young digging in. Just returned from injury about a couple weeks ago. He's had a little bit of an up and down, mixed bag approach anyway, of results anyway at the plate. Defensively, though, he looks every bit as good as he was before at that third base spot. In my opinion, probably the best defensive third baseman in the game this year has been Josh Young. And yes, I'd say that fully aware that Nolan Arenado is still out there, Manny Machado, Matt Chapman. He's been better defensively than all those guys this year. Does have 23 home runs on the year, third among AL rookies. Got to think if he was healthy for that 6 weeks he was out with that thumb injury, he would have run away and hid with that American League Rookie of the Year award. Oh, that's a tough pitch. That was low and away. It wasn't all that close, really, and somehow got a mystifying strike call. I mean, was it within 3 inches of the strike zone? Sure, but I mean, we've come to expect better, especially from the umpires this year, because they've been instructed to really call the higher strike this year, and that's kind of the definition of what they were told not to call. Strike 3 right on the outside corner. That one was taken all the way by Josh Young, was not looking for that type of a pitch. He goes down looking for the first out here in the second inning. Jonah Heim due up next. Fouls off the first one here. Back to the screen. 0-1. Hitting .258, has seen his numbers dip a little bit over the last week. Has hit 18 home runs, career high for him. Taps this one to first, thrown to second for the first out, and this one gets by the pitcher and off the dugout fencing. And Heim is safe at first. Was wondering if that would get into the dugout, but unable to turn the double play. Good job by France, able to execute at least the first out there and get the lead runner, but just unable to collect that throw on the return from Crawford. That one was a little bit high and wide. Leody Taveras due up next. Strike one right at the knees. They were trying to throw that one up, but safe to say did not hit his location that he was hoping for. Leody having a good month of September, hitting .268 on the year. Changeup misses low and away. 1-1. The set by Castillo, and the pitch. Swung on and missed. That one was low and away again, but chased at by Taveras. Now 1-2. Castillo looking for another shutout inning here to begin things this Saturday evening. Tomorrow the Mariners will trot out their Kirby, and the Rangers still haven't determined their pitcher yet, but likely to be either one of Bradford or Perez. This one's lifted foul. Remains 1-2. Rangers, though, looking to get things done here tonight. Would love to see the Diamondbacks win against Houston tonight to make things easier. We'll check in on their score here in just a moment. The set by Castillo. And the pitch, off the outside corner by about 3 or 4 inches. Looks like they're just about to get underway in Arizona. Another foul ball here down the third base line. Leote making Castillo work a little bit. Mariners have had a very good bullpen so far this year. They even were able to trade Paul Sewald, their closer, from it and still have a very good bullpen. So even if Castillo is only able to give them 5 shutout innings, they still have enough arms back there to where they should be able to get things done. This one misses low and away. Almost every single one of the pitches so far has been low and away here to Leote. Evan Carter waits on deck. Struggled in last night's game. Had a couple of strikeouts and an 0 for night for him. One of the few rare 0 for nights for Evan Carter. He's responded well to past experiences like that so far. And a 3-2 count here, and Leote takes a walk. Nice work there. 2-out walk, and Rangers have 2 on with 2 out here in the second inning. This inning probably could have been over on that ground ball by Heim. Just kind of yanked the throw a little bit there was Crawford. Carter, the lefty. 281, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, 4 homers in his last 9 games. This one misses inside, just off the plate. That pitch was called a strike a couple hitters ago. It's a little bit inconsistent there, but it was darn close either way. This one's hit foul and out of play, back behind the third base dugout. 1-1. Evan Carter likely to be higher up in the lineup next year for the Rangers. My expectation is they probably put him in that leadoff spot if he's able to earn it out of camp and move Semien down into a more traditional RBI type of role. Has had a great year from that perspective at the leadoff spot, but with Seager getting on as much as he hasn't been knocked in nearly as much as the Rangers would have liked. So putting him maybe behind Semien instead of in front of him might be the route they decide to go. This one misses just, and I mean just, a fraction outside. 3-1. You got to want that one if you're Castillo. Nice frame job there by Raleigh and didn't get the call. Castillo gives it the E. Welcome in, Clips. 3-1 pitch here, fouled back. And it's now 3-2. Another full count here to another Rangers hitter. Rangers offense has absolutely been sputtering, though, with runners in scoring position. They're 1 for 27 with runners in scoring position over their last 5 games. They've gone on dry spells like this before this season. Carter takes time here. Understandable. Crowd getting into it there in Seattle. Absolutely. High pop-up, essentially, left center field. And making the play is that Kelenic in left, I believe, today? No, Moore. Moore is in the game, not Kelenic, sorry. But Carter flies out, and that's the end of the top half of the second inning. We go to the bottom half. 0-0 our score. It'll be Hernandez, Moore, and France for the Mariners in the bottom of the second. Good start, though, for the Rangers. They made Castillo work, which is basically the best you could hope for if you're not going to score runs. And that's kind of what the Rangers have really been doing, getting pitchers to throw a lot of pitches, but not getting the runs across. We'll see if they're able to break out of that shell. They're now 1 for 28 with runners in scoring position over the last 5+ games. Let's check in on that Houston and Arizona game real quick. Give you guys an idea of what's in store for tonight. Looks like it'll be Merrill Kelly going for the Diamondbacks, and the Astros will counter with Justin Verlander. No major changes in the lineup, it looks like here. Houston. For Arizona, they really struggled to get any base hits last night. It's not going to get much easier against Verlander tonight. Pretty much the same lineup as well. That one gets underway here in just a little bit. Some other scores from around baseball that are worth mentioning with playoff considerations. Cubs lead Milwaukee 6-3. Let's see here. Some finals already. Looks like we already mentioned the Toronto one. Tampa winning 7-5. Looks like that one went to extras. Philly playing a doubleheader against the Mets today. And then Miami has now a 2-1 lead over Pittsburgh. Again, if Miami wins out, they will win one of those wild card spots. So good on them. Great season for what they were expected to do coming into the year. Looks like we're just getting back from commercial break. Beautiful view of the harbor there in Seattle. First pitch here by Heaney to Hernandez. Misses high and away. Slider that just didn't break any at all. Hernandez in 159 games this year has a .259 average, 26 home runs, and 93 RBIs. Fastball misses off the plate inside. Quickly 2-0 for the second straight inning. Looks like Heaney's not very crisp with his pitches. I'm surprised as well, Clips. I mean, I thought the acquisition of Luis Arraez was exactly what they needed. But even with that being said, I still thought it wasn't enough. I mean, you look at that lineup and it wasn't exactly something to fear. You look at the loss in the pitching staff, I thought they'd weather it with the addition of Johnny Cueto there. Hasn't been as much of a factor as I thought, but Sandy Alcantara really hasn't had a good year, and yet they're still right there ready for playoff positioning. So good on them. 3-1 here is fouled off by Hernandez. Now full count once again. Heaney up to 28 pitches so far. I'm expecting him probably to go no deeper than probably 75, honestly. I'd be shocked if he goes further than that. The 3-2. Yee, that was off the plate inside, but unable to check his swing. That'll go down as another strikeout. Heaney's been quite the strikeout artist this season. That's his first of the game. If the postseason were to begin today, Texas would be in the lead for the AL West, so they would get that first round bye and await the winner of what would currently be the Twins and Astros series. Meanwhile, the Orioles would await the Rays and Blue Jays winner. Strike one there to Dylan Moore. In his career versus Heaney, he's 5 for 13, has a couple of doubles and a home run. Very successful beginning. Kind of surprised they faced each other this much, honestly. That one misses there, 1-1. The set here by Heaney, and the pitch. That slider just slid just a little off the table inside. 2-1. That one misses up and away. Now 3-1. Another 3-ball count here to a Mariners hitter. This was John Gray's spot in the rotation, but he just went on the injured list. That one didn't miss by much either, and that's going to be a 5-pitch walk here to Dylan Moore. They show the starting pitcher injuries for Texas right now. Of course, DeGrom is out for the year. Max Scherzer has been out since the middle of September, but he's actually started throwing bullpens. He could be back at some point for a postseason run. Jake Odorizzi's been out the entire season, didn't even pitch in spring training. And then we just mentioned John Gray has been put on the IL. First pitch here to France, popped up straight behind home plate. Heim has plenty of room and makes the catch for the second out here in the second inning. One pitch gets the out there, and that's exactly what Heaney needed to get that pitch count down a little bit to give the Rangers at least a little bit of length out of the starter today. Rojas is next, came over in that Sewald trade from the Diamondbacks, hitting .248, 4 homers on the year. Getting the start against the lefty, a little bit of a surprise. Misses well outside, ball 1. Heaney hasn't exactly been the traditional lefty, though, against left-handed hitters. Struggles a little bit more than what you might expect against left-handers. The 1-0. Misses outside. The throw down to first is safe from Jonah Heim. It's now 2-0. Make it 3-0 as that one misses just off the outside corner. Heim gives a tip of his glove to say, all right, that was close. You were just about there. Pretty much what he wanted to execute, just couldn't hit the corner. The 3-0. That one finds the top of the zone. 3-1. See if they challenge him with some fastballs right at the top of the zone. That seems to be where his most successful pitches are being thrown so far. Rojas's 4 home runs were all against righties, so curious that he's in there today. This one gets through what would be a shift last year, but just kind of a shading, if you will, extreme shading. Basically right where the shortstop would have been playing. 2 on, 2 outs for the Mariners here in the bottom half of the second inning. Mariners' second hit of the game. Haggerty due up next. Welcome back, Dreadnought. Rangers better watch out. They might find themselves out of the playoff tomorrow. Well, we'll find out in less than 48 hours what the playoff picture will actually look like. It would be a massive disappointment in my estimation if the Rangers don't make the postseason with where they started at this year. Nice slider on the outside corner. Gets the call this time. 0-1. Rangers had an all-time great offense for the first 2 months of the year. On pace with some of literally the best Yankees teams you could ever have seen in the history of baseball. Rangers were just that good early in the year. Obviously, that was not sustainable. We expected as much. But did we really expect the descent to be as deep as it was into August and September? I don't think any of us saw that coming. 0-2 here to Haggerty. J.P. Crawford, the hero from both Thursday and Friday's games. Another one tapped foul, and it's 0-2. So do we blame Chapman for that if the season ends? No. I don't blame it on Chapman at all. My issue for this would probably land on the bullpen as a whole. The whole unit just did not perform all year long. And as good as the offense was early in the season, we knew there was going to be some regression. Even if the bullpen was as bad as they were all year long, if they don't regress as far as they did, they probably get into the postseason if they miss out, honestly. If the bullpen just doesn't blow one more save, just one, we're talking about them easily being in the postseason picture right now. 0-2 here is popped up behind home plate and out of play. Looks like the Rangers are indeed getting some movement out there now. Heaney up to 44, 45 pitches now. Like I said, I'd expect no longer than 75 pitches at max for him. A little bit of a surprise seeing Matt Bush out in the bullpen for the Texas Rangers. I think he was activated with Jake Latz throwing 2 1/3 yesterday, or 2 innings yesterday. I didn't see the actual move yet, but I assume that's what the move the Rangers did. But Matt Bush, in what is his second or third stint with the Rangers, might get his first appearance of the season with the team in a pennant race. 0-2 still. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Rangers needed to get some length out of that starting spot today, at least a little bit. Looks like we're at least going to get 2 innings here. This one's flared off the end of the bat into center. Tavares is there and makes the catch to retire the Mariners in the bottom of the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Texas. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Seattle. Do we blame Bochy? I don't think so. He tried literally every string in the book. I think they're literally trying the string that's not in the book, that's just laying on the side of the table in Matt Bush if they end up going with him for the bullpen. But the whole bullpen needs to be axed? I don't think so. I still think there's a couple of good pieces back there. I think there will probably be 3 or 4 holdovers after this season that end up making the team next year. But do I think all of them will be back? Certainly not. I think the Rangers are going to try heavily to get Josh Hader. I think they'll try everything in their power to bring back one or both of Chapman and Smith. But I think Jose Leclerc has had a nice resurgent second half. Really has solidified things back there. Jonathan Hernandez looks significantly better. But I don't think he's assured a spot next year in the bullpen. But I think coming into camp, he'll have to earn it. Brock Burke, he's been good the last 2 years. Not great. His ERA looks sterling, don't get me wrong. When I say sterling, it's sub 3, I believe. But in this bullpen, that looks like the best that's ever been, I'll put it that way. But the peripheral numbers on him don't look great. He struggles in certain situations as well. And then you can't trust him to close out a game if your closer's gone 3 nights in a row and you need somebody else to take the ball in that spot. He's not the guy for that. They've tried using him in the long relief role. He was really good in that role a couple years ago. But they're trying to use him as a 1-inning reliever lefty. And they've got plenty of those right now. And there are more that are going to be on the market that are better than Brock Burke. So he's one piece I could see being moved this offseason via trade somewhere. It's not going to take a whole lot for him. But a guy that was formerly a starting pitcher, we've seen those type of trades already. Think of Cole Ragans and the Aroldis Chapman deal. Rangers were using him out of the bullpen because they weren't able to use him as a starter. And obviously he's been the best starter in all of baseball the second half of the year. Oops. But for Chapman, nobody saw that coming for Ragans. So good on Ragans to be able to make the most of his opportunity. And good on the Rangers for getting the best reliever that was moved at the deadline. Looks like we're about set here for the top of the third. It'll be Semien, Seager, and Grossman for Texas. The righty is set. And the pitch. This one misses inside, 1-0. But do I think the whole bullpen gets axed? No, but I do think there'll be significant changes back there. I do like Jonathan Hernandez as a option next year if he's able to keep those walks down. Welcome in Lane. Any score yet? No. No score as of yet. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Texas. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Seattle. Better pitching coach in Kansas? Nah, I don't know about that. I just think they literally had no starting pitchers. That's why he got the opportunity again. The Rangers were already dealing from a position of strength and wanted to add more starting pitching on top of that right at the deadline. And Cole Ragans was part of that depth for starting pitching early in the year. But obviously when they moved him for Chapman, they needed to bring in some more starting pitching. But I don't think there'll be any coaching changes. I don't think there's any issue, honestly, with the way this coaching. Oh, wow. Mystifying call there as that one misses inside. He has not been calling that a strike, but every now and again you just get one out of the blue, and that one goes for a strike there. 3-2, and now it was ball 4. Semien kind of tosses the bat down in disgust, saying that should have been 1 pitch earlier. Another walk for Castillo today. Seen a few of those. To be specific, we've seen 3 of those. Corey Seager due up. We'll see if they get him to chase here. Nice pitch right at the bottom of the zone. And it's called a ball. Okay, I don't understand this umpire. I don't get it. Nope. Don't get him at all. The 1-0. Hard hit, but foul. That was crushed down the first base line, out of play. 1-1. Semien works his way back to first. The set here by Castillo, and the pitch. Lifted foul, I believe. Nope, it's going to stay in fair territory, out and left. Nice play made by Moore, getting that one in quickly, and Semien is chased back to first. One away here in the top of the third inning. Do I think there'll be coaching changes, though? No. I do like Mike Maddox as a pitching coach. He has a lot of connections on this team with a lot of the pitchers that they've had. Jordan Montgomery is pretty much a walking testament to the success story that is his entire career, honestly. Resurrected his career last year with Seattle, or with St. Louis, with Mike Maddox as his pitching coach. Struggled a little bit to begin the year, or at least not as to the effectiveness that he was last year with Mike Maddox. And now with Texas, he's been right back to that elite form that we saw at the end of last year. Safe to say, Jordan Montgomery really wants Mike Maddox to stay. This one's fouled right off the catcher's mask, and it's quickly 0-2 to Robbie Grossman. Again, Rangers still looking for their first playoff berth in over 6 years, and with a win tonight could do so. Magic number for the Rangers to win the AL West is 2. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Nice fastball just off the outside corner, but too close to take. Unable to catch up to that one. Late was Grossman's swing, and that's going to be another strikeout here for Castillo. Through 2 2/3, he's got 4 Ks. Definitely need some bats to wake up today. Well, if you're the Rangers, you certainly need that to start happening. Start hitting with runners in scoring position more than anything else, honestly. Yesterday he had 3 hits, but it's been a issue driving in runs the last week or so. That one misses low and away as he kind of twists off the mound on that delivery. Castillo up to 57 pitches so far. Garcia struck out in his last at-bat. The 1-0. Off-speed down and in. Fouled back. Dribbled back to the screen anyway, and it's 1-1. Garbage on the road. Well, it's a long season. We saw the testament to that in late August, early September for the Rangers, all the issues that they had. 8 left on base yesterday. It was very high early in the game, but of course by the 5th inning it was pretty much over. Little tapper here to third base, and it stays fair. Hard throw here by Suarez is not going to get Garcia. Initially Garcia did not break it out of the box, but is able to still beat the throw. It'll again be 2 on with 2 outs here late in the top half of the third inning. Welcome in, Ron. Appreciate you for joining us again. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Really does help us out. And Nathaniel Lowe is due up next. Walked in his first at-bat. Good attempt there by Suarez to try to get Garcia, but just not going to catch him, even with the bare hand play. Lowe hitting .261, 17 homers, 81 RBIs, and a .774 OPS. Doing pretty good, Ron. Doing pretty good. How are you? First pitch here, lifted foul down the third base line and out of play. 0-1. Welcome in, Toast. Appreciate you for joining us. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. Hit the heart in the chat if you'd like. Going pretty well, Tampa Sportscaster, or Sports Podcast. This one's lifted foul again. Quickly 0-2 here to Nate Lowe. Or as his mother would like you to know, he likes to be known as Nathaniel Lowe. Former Tampa Bay Ray there. finished a long week at work, ready to watch some baseball, some playoff baseball next week. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the likes. We really do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for those. Thank you. Rangers offense, no runs in the last 16 innings. Ouch. That one misses inside, now 2-2. Lowe making Castillo work, up to 63 pitches now through 2 2/3. Over 20 pitches an inning. That's exactly what the Rangers were hoping to do. Of course, they were hoping to drive in some runs along with it. That one misses outside, 3-2. Just from a sports standpoint, I'm kind of hoping the Rangers clinch tonight. That way we can watch some football with y'all tomorrow. This one's dribbled up the middle, and this is going to drive in a run. Semien will score, and we have a 1-0 lead for Texas here in the top of the third. Finally, the Rangers get a base hit with the runner in scoring position. That it makes them 2 for their last 29 over their last 5+ games. That was huge for this Texas offense. That was huge for Nathaniel Lowe specifically. Really been struggling over the last, what do we call it, month and change. It almost looked like they were going off the pitch there from that replay, or at least Garcia was getting a very good secondary lead. First pitch here to Young. Runners on the corners now as Castillo kind of falls off the mound a little bit on that delivery, 1-0. Young struck out in his last at-bat, hitting .268 now on the year. See if he gets his bat out of the ice cubes now. Which baseball team is my favorite? Well, I try not to hide it, but pretty sure it's obvious when I'm talking about them. The Texas Rangers are my favorite team. Fastball at the top of the zone, swung on and missed by Young. 1-1. Castillo up to 67. Now this will be 68 pitches here. The 1-1 eventually. Sinker on the inside part of the plate, fouled off his foot. Takes a little bit of a walk here to walk that one off. 1-2. Home plate umpire gives him a reprieve, comes out and dusts home plate. Give him some time to recover from that one. The 1-2 here to Young. Misses low and away. Nice job by Josh Young not swinging at that one. That's a pitch he's been swinging at quite consistently and chasing so far this year. Nice work laying off that one. That's the one thing this offseason he's going to probably work on the most is avoiding chasing those pitches. That one off the outside corner. Looks like both catcher and pitcher thought that one was going to be called strike 3, but it was a little bit off the plate. It has been a mystifying strike zone at times tonight so far. Young takes his time out here. That was darn close, though. Missed it by about an inch or two. Probably 2 inches off the outside part of the plate, belt high. 3-2 once again to another Texas Ranger hitter. Pitch number 71 coming. The set by Castillo. And the pitch. This one's fouled straight back. Young did not miss that one by much. He is swinging underneath quite a few of these pitches, though, is what I'm noticing. See if he gets one of these locked in. The set here by Young. Or the set by Castillo to Young. And the pitch. Well outside, and another full count walk to load the bases. Wow, Rangers getting something cooking here in the top of the third. Looks like we're going to get a mound visit here. Pitching coach coming out. Remember yesterday he came sprinting out in the 8th inning to talk to their young reliever. A little bit more subdued here with a veteran on the mound. I wasn't sure. Was it Green Bay? Just kidding. I don't know if there's a Green Bay baseball team. Nah, Tampa, you're good. Your Rays are a pretty good team. I feel horrible for you missing out on having McClanahan at the top of your rotation. But you did make the addition of bringing in Savali to at least steady that rotation after his loss anyway. But just a horrible break for you losing him. I would think the Tampa Bay Rays would be right up there in my book for favorites to win the American League. But without McClanahan, it just takes a little bit off. First pitch here to Jonah, fouled back. 0-1 here. Castillo up to 73 pitches now. Bases are loaded. Garcia is at third base. Lowe is at second. And Young is at first. 1-0. Texas in front. Nice pitch. Fastball right at the bottom of the zone. Inside corner. Quickly 0-2. And here's the 0-2. This one's hit high down the third base line, but about 20-25 rows back and out of play. And we'll do it again. High stress pitches here for Castillo. Can't imagine him getting too much further with the pitch count already at 75. Best case scenario, you're hoping he gets through 5 at this point. This one's another high fastball and just getting it there in time and fouling it off is Jonah Heim. Count remains still 0-2. Heim's had a couple of big grand slams lately as well. Another foul ball, this one off of his toe, rolled foul. Still 0-2 as Jonah walks this one off. Kind of landed a little funny as well. Got to make sure with that wrist you don't tweak it at this point. You actually want to see the Rangers beat the Mariners because they don't want to see Toronto in the playoffs. Well, I mean, you keep facing Toronto even right now. I mean, are you saying you'd rather face Houston than Toronto? If I'm Tampa, I would rather face Toronto all day long. The 0-2 once again. This one's lined up the middle and into right center field. That'll score at least 2. Young chugging for third. It'll be runners at the corners again. 3-0. Texas adding a 3 spot here on the board to get this one going for Texas. And wow, what an emotional lift this has to be for that Rangers clubhouse right now. You can just see on Nathaniel Lowe's face the chip on his shoulder. Just the effort, the grind that they've been going through the last couple of days. You can just see it just lift instantly on that base hit right there. Adolis Garcia was already pumping his fist before he even got to home, and he started at third. Big at bat there by Jonah Heim. All those foul balls with a 2-strike count, and it's 3-0 Texas. Leody Taveras digging in here. First pitch swinging. This one's going to get into the gap as well. Or no, right in front of the right fielder, and they will not test Hernandez. It looked like that one just kind of died in midair. It looked like that was going to go to the wall, but it does not. Instead, it's now a 4-0 Rangers lead. And this is exactly what you need if you're the Texas Rangers right now. Max Scherzer, Jacob deGrom giving some high fives to the guys coming through. Aroldis Chapman still in the dugout here early in the game. And what an emotional lift this has to be. Full club effort there right now. You can see everybody's giving everybody a boost out there. And with back-to-back RBI hits here, Raleigh's gone out there to at least talk to Castillo. Looks like they're trying to buy time in the bullpen more than anything else. You actually want it the other way around. You want to see the Mariners beat the Rangers and have a shot at eliminating Toronto from playoff contention. Okay. I mean, if out of all the teams, you'd have to say coming into the year, Seattle probably had the weakest chance out of all those teams to make the postseason, even with as good a rotation as they were on paper going to have. But their lineup wasn't, playoff ready or anything like that. I'd say going into the playoffs this year, their lineup would probably threaten you the least out of all the contending teams. First pitch here to Carter, misses just a little high. They're going to say check swing did not go around, 1-0. Castillo up to 80 pitches. A little bit surprised they're not taking him out here and bringing in a lefty. The 1-0 fouled back to the screen. Getting just underneath that one was Carter. Did not miss a home run by much. We saw a pitch very much like that in that Angel series. That Carter just kind of busted wide open in that one. If they get a home run here from Carter, that would be a huge lift once again. This one misses outside, 2-1. Obviously, with the start of the Rays, you had pretty much expected them to make the playoffs. Yes, same thing with Texas, but Texas still hasn't clinched a playoff spot yet. Chances are looking good now. Ooh, that one just off the corner, and this one does get a strike call. It's been an inconsistent strike zone for the home plate umpire. Not blaming Castillo and the Mariners one bit. It's this umpire that just... They have a hard job, don't get me wrong, but he's calling strikes, balls, strikes, and not being consistent with where he's calling strikes. This one's lifted foul down the third base line, out of play. Still 2-2. If you're going to have a pitch that's a foot or about an inch or two off the plate to a lefty called a strike in one at bat, it should be the same way every time. Obviously, robo-umps would eliminate the subjectivity of those type of strike zones, so I can't wait for those, but as it stands right now, I just want to see consistency. That one misses south of the zone, and another full count to another Rangers hitter. At 85 pitches, this has got to be the last hitter for Castillo. 3-2 pitch. That one misses up and away, and another walk by Castillo. Nice work by the Rangers, really forcing the Mariners to come into the strike zone. Bases will be loaded for Marcus Semien, looking for his 100th RBI of the season, and it does look like they're going to go to the bullpen with Scott Service coming out. We'll see who they bring in. Looks like they're going to go for a righty here to face Semien. A little surprised with a couple of lefties coming up after that. Manager says that's a heck of a job by Castillo, and it was. I mean, the Rangers are the ones who made him work and throw those strikes. They worked the count. They kept fouling off tough pitches. That at bat to Jonah Heim really was the end of it, though, in my opinion, for Luis Castillo. And as it stands right now, 4-0 Texas, bases loaded with 2 away in the top of the third. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Texas. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Seattle. Just to count up the walks so far, 5 walks by Luis Castillo, and Matt Brash, who they've relied on quite a bit this year, is coming on. Probably hoping to get a couple innings out of him, maybe 2 1/3. For the Rangers, though, remember, Andrew Heaney has been shaky the first 2 innings, and I don't expect him to come or to last much longer in this one. In fact, even with this long inning, he may not even come out for the bottom half of the third. We might see Matt Bush in there. If they do let Heaney go one more, I don't think he's going to go past 3 at this point. But this long rest could work in one of 2 ways. One, they say, hey, you've done enough, you got hot, now you're cold again, go ahead and stay cold and stay on the bench. Or with the longer break, maybe they'll say, hey, you've had more time to recover, see if you can get through 4. But as it stands right now, I don't think Texas is going to take too many chances, not with a 4-run lead here and a chance to clinch a spot to go to the playoffs on the line. I think the division right now is secondary to them. They just want to make sure they get into the postseason. Tomorrow they will have a chance to win the division by themselves no matter what the result is in Houston tonight. If Houston does lose, they go ahead and win the division. Then we could see the Rangers go ahead and pull out all the stops to give everybody rest on the last day of the season. But bases loaded here, top of the third, 4-0 Texas in front. Marcus Semien up. I believe the wild card round is going to be played Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then the division series will begin next weekend. We'll be sure to have some of those games for you. We've had pretty much all of the last 6 games here for the Rangers for you guys here at the Upside. Shortest outing of the season for Luis Castillo, and he will not get to 200 innings pitched this season. Got close, though. Just not quite enough there. Brash so far this year, 77 games, 9-4 record, a 2.97 ERA, and 69 2/3 innings pitched, 27 walks to 106 strikeouts. Got to be hoping for one here if you're Seattle. First pitch from Brash, slider misses high, 1-0. Big moment in this one, a base hit here, probably bust this one a little too far for Seattle to come back and could very well end their playoff hopes. That slider does find the top of the zone. Strike one, 1-1. The set by Brash. And the pitch. Another slider at the top of the zone. Very curious to see his pitch location there. And the choice to go with the slider at the top of the zone. Usually you see a hanging slider and you think, oh no, that's going to be a home run, but very effective there. Surprisingly. Most appearances this season, Matt Brash at 78. Hard hit ball by Marcus Semien. This one's going to get... What a catch by Dylan Moore. That looked like it was going to get down. Wow. Wow, what a catch by Dylan Moore. Absolutely justified the start today with the walk and then that amazing catch. What a catch. Saved at least 2 runs. Wow. 4-0 Texas after 2.5. And we'll see who comes out here for the 3rd inning for Texas. Will it be Heaney or do they go to the bullpen? But wow, what a play by Dylan Moore. Wow. Took a huge risk taking a dive at that one, because if it gets past him, that's easily a triple. Okay, let's knock the nonsense off, my friend. Welcome in, Lewis. Do you think Mariners have a chance? I do still think they have a chance. I mean, you look at the way the Rangers have lined this one up right now. The Rangers really don't have a long guy right now that they can go to start the game. They're going with Heaney to at least get him 2, maybe 3 right now. And then you get into that bullpen, which has been susceptible all year long for blown saves. So right now it's a 4-0 lead. It is in Seattle. Seattle has all the momentum coming into this one, winning the last 2. And... I don't know. It's a 4-0 lead. You got to get something started offensively. They've made Heaney work the last 2 innings, which is good for them. But I think it's still too early to call it game yet. I think if that Semien base hit gets down, if the dive misses there by Dylan Moore, that one goes all the way to the wall, and then it's over. So Mariners are definitely going to be selling out for the game, yes, Thomas, but they're going to be trying to do everything in their power to get in there. Push the envelope the rest of the way. Their season depends on it. A loss here and they're very likely eliminated from playoff contention. All that would be needed is a Houston win and they're officially out. But what a play by Dylan Moore to at least keep it a 4-0 game. Alrighty, First pitch here by Andrew Heaney, as he's back out there for the third, finds the zone against Crawford, 0-1. Off-speed pitch, does he go around? No, says the third base umpire, and it's 1-1. Castillo, 5 hits, 5 walks, paid millions to... Well, I mean, the Mariners did have their best starter going. That's just sometimes how it goes. On paper, the Rangers should have won last night with all the success that they had against Bryan Woo and with Nathan Eovaldi looking unhittable the first 2 innings. And then it switched. Little roller to low, flips to Heaney covering and makes the play for the first out here in the 3rd inning. We'll see how much longer they go with Heaney here. He's at 51 pitches. I don't think they're going to ask him to do too much here today. Julio Rodriguez due up next. Heaney looking a little bit fresher out there here in the 3rd. Little tapper again back to Heaney. And maybe a quick inning here could really help the Rangers get some length out of him. Why would the Mariners sell out? Well, I mean, it is a playoff situation as far as attendance, but if you're asking on the field, why would they try to do everything in their power to make the postseason? Because it matters. Are you saying they're giving up? Is that what you're trying to say by selling out? To me, selling out is what they try to do. Vegas controls all sports. I don't know about that, Thomas. I think the days of Vegas controlling anything sports related are long since past. One here to Suarez. Make it 1-2. Nice pitch there by Heaney as he's starting to get into a little bit of a groove here. I was not expecting this from Heaney. He looked a little rough the first 2 innings, but seems a lot more in control, less wild here in the 3rd inning. Another nice fastball, top of the zone, exactly where they wanted to pitch it. And Heaney's starting to look good. 1-2 still. Mariners know they are not on top, Monkey Man. They are actually behind 4-0, and strike 3. Suarez takes looking. Nice off-speed pitch on the outside corner by Heaney. Beautiful job. Nice work by Andrew Heaney to get through this one. 1-2-3. Home plate umpire shares a story with Heaney while they make sure he's clean of all sticky substances. There we go. Alrighty, let's check in on that Astros game, see if that one's gotten underway and where they're at. Looks like they are in the middle of the 2nd inning there. 0-0 the score there. Looking at how the game's gone so far. Pretty much Astros go 1-2-3 in the top of the 1st. While the Diamondbacks get a walk by Pham, but other than that, nothing doing for them. Welcome in, Eric. Let's go Rangers, and that's with no love or no hate to my Mariner fans. I love those guys too, but I'm a diehard Rangers fan. I'm right there with you. I was a big fan of all the The early Mariners teams. We're talking about like the 2001 Mariners, Ichiro, Edgar Martinez, Rodriguez, Ibanez was out there. That whole team was really good. I enjoyed watching them. I cheered for them to make the post or to win the World Series that year, and I thought they had a really good chance. And ultimately, it did not happen. Corey Seager is up first here in the top half of the fourth inning. Rangers leading it 4-0 at the moment. Another one off the plate away, as it seems they've reestablished that strategy of pitching to Corey Seager. Nothing, nothing, and nothing good for him to throw at. There was a lot of money on Seattle. Well, yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of money on Seattle. That's just common sense, Thomas. I mean, who was the better starter in tonight's game? Luis Castillo or Andrew Heaney? Luis Castillo. 9 times out of 10, if they play this game during the regular season, I would expect Luis Castillo to have the better pitching performance. Now, the Rangers' bats had been quiet for a while, and there was always going to be a chance that, the Rangers' bats finally wake up, and they finally do. They weren't going to keep them down for forever. Looks like Teoscar Hernandez just broke his glove. They're going to get him a new one. The right fielder. 2-1 count on Seager while we await him getting a new glove. Well, you never know. Like I said, Rangers bullpen has been very, very porous all year long. They've been better as of late, but we'll see. That one finishes beneath the zone. 3-1 here to Corey. His backup glove is matching the color scheme of his uniform now. Not sure it's his glove that he got out there. 3-1. This one tapped to the left side. This one's going to roll into the left field as the infield was shifted pretty much as far to the right as they possibly could. What would have been an easy out for the third baseman goes as a single here for Seager. First runner is aboard here in the top of the fourth inning. You were hoping for 91, 92 wins this year. You were wishing for more, but we're happy with 91. I'm right there with you. I wasn't expecting a 100-win team out of this Ranger team, but earlier this year I would have said I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I changed my expectation for them. After how hot of a start they got off to, I thought for sure they would go out there and get exactly what they needed in the bullpen, even though they did do well at bringing in Aroldis Chapman and bringing in Chris Stratton, but I thought they would do more. And they just haven't gotten the same production out of this rotation that I thought they would. Even with the injury issues that they have there, I thought they would still get more out of it. I mean, you couldn't have counted on DeGrom for 162 games, obviously. You might have been able to count on him for 15 starts. I think if you're being charitable, that he'd miss half the year. I don't think anybody saw another Tommy John coming that quickly. He's going to miss the majority of next season. Max Scherzer's missed some time here at the very end. Jordan Montgomery's been a godsend to them. 1-2 here to Grossman as Seager waits on first base. Welcome back, Declan. What is with this Mariners area right behind home plate? Every single time one of those balls hits one of those little pads, it falls loose. Every single time. Welcome in to Press Met. I was going to say I hadn't seen you in here a while. Yeah, the injury to DeGrom was a heartbreaker, but Dunning has been a revelation as a result. 2-2 misses outside, 3-2 now. Brash with a little bit of trouble now. Adolis Garcia waits on deck. He's been one of the few bright spots recently for the Rangers offensively. Got 39 of you guys with us right now. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. That one's just foul, and we'll do it again. Or, hold on. I think that was caught by Suarez. I was looking the other direction. Sorry. One away now. Sorry. Adolis Garcia digging in. 1 for 2. Had a single and a run scored his last time up. This one jams him off the fists. And it's quickly 0-1. Rangers leading at 4-0 here in the top of the 4th inning. A win today, and they are in the postseason. A win and an Astros loss today, and the Rangers win the AL West. So a lot on the line here for Texas. Yeah, I was right there with you with the Scherzer injury. I thought, coming into the year, I wasn't very high on Scherzer as far as being able to get through the entirety of the season. Then in May, you seemed to figure some things out from a pitching perspective, or pitching side of things as far as how he wanted to go about things. It took him a while to get to the effective part of that, but we started to see some of the results of that in the middle of July, and obviously with his time with Texas, he's been very good. Wild pitch there allows Seager to get to second. But Scherzer may actually be back for the ALDS at the earliest. I'm not expecting it though, but ALCS I think is probably the best case scenario, honestly. More realistic is like the World Series, as long as everything goes well with his recovery. 1-2 here now to Adolis, or excuse me, 2-1 now as that one misses outside. Make it 3-1. Welcome in, Phoenix. Blue Jays fan here, praying for Mariners to lose. Well, I think you're going to get your wish by at least the way the score looks right now. But remember, the Rangers do have Andrew Heaney on the mound, who's not going to go deep in this one, and their bullpen has been nothing but shaky. Another walk by this Mariners pitching staff. Just, wow. Looks like we're going to get a mound visit here as well. Matt Brash has been nothing but nails for them this year, and it's just not working out right now. Every string they're pulling from the pitching side just seems to be everything's a grind for them right now on that side of it. Just the catcher and the shortstop speaking with Brash at the moment. The Rangers have been taking a lot of walks, not just tonight, but over the last few games. It's like they've changed their approach a little bit at the plate. Especially with Corey Seager. He really struggled in the opener, chasing a lot of pitches. Last night and tonight, his patience has really started to pay off. Nathaniel Lowe due up next. 1 for 1, had that base hit to really open things up for the first time in the game. And the walk earlier. He's had a good day after struggling mightily for the entire month of September, really. First pitch strike here. Lowe taken all the way. Runners at first and second here, 1 out. That one misses the zone, 1-1. Again, Lowe, one of the most patient hitters in the Rangers lineup. Very content to just let Brash nibble at the corners. You'll win some, you lose some that way, but I'd like to see him, look for his pitch a little bit more. Another off-speed pitch, right down Broadway. 1-2. Josh Young waiting on deck, 0 for 1 with a walk. Welcome in, Daryl. Appreciate you for joining us. It's going to be a strikeout there. Gets Nathaniel on that one. There'll be 2 away. As they show some of the replays from that 4-run third inning for Texas. First pitch here, strike on the inner half of the plate, 0-1. Set here by Brash, and the pitch. Chased at by Young, and again he's just chasing that one all the way. Young taking time here. It's the one thing he really needs to work on. I keep mentioning it because he really does need to stop chasing those pitches. They're not really competitive pitches. Pitches that they're trying to get him to chase on, sure, but they're missing location as to where they're trying to get him to chase it at. And he's still swinging at them. So if he can just lay off those, if he can lay off those chase pitches anyway, he'd be doing so much better. That one misses high, 1-2. 1-2, runners on first and second, 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Ow! Right off the elbow of Josh Young. He is in some pain. I think it got him right on the funny bone more than anything else. Nothing funny about that. Mariners are trying to argue that he still tried to check his swing on that one, but swung. And I get their argument why they're making it, looking at the replay here to see if he did actually swing. Right off the inside of the forearm. The bat was still back. Ooh. Yeah, the bat wasn't even close to going through the strike zone. Mariners just having a bad day all the way around. The way Semien threw down his helmet after that left field diving catch by the Mariners was crazy. Well, yeah, it was a great catch. And he's had a few of those types of hits robbed so far this year. I remember in the month of June, he had multiple hits like that taken away from him from spectacular plays. Bases loaded once again for Jonah Heim. That one misses outside. 1-0. Looks like they've got some smog, whatever you want to call it. Or maybe that's just the way the lights are coming in now through the stadium. Might be. Yeah, I think it's the way the lights are coming through the stadium right now. Every other camera angle looks fine. There's no smoke on those. It's just that center field camera that's just got that horrible light right now. Gabe Spire, who threw yesterday, loosening out there, the lefty. 2-0 here on Jonah. Make it 3-0 as that one misses just a little outside and in danger of walking in another run. Mariners looking for Brash to bow up here a little bit. That one almost the exact same spot as the last one, just a hair closer, and gets the strike call. 3-1. You're calling it right down the middle, the right side, pulling it just a fraction. There's a walk. It's now 5-0. Texas. Wow. Looks like we're going to get a mound visit. They're going to go get Gabe Spire here. Matt Brash looks like he's done. He's given him an inning plus, but just not able to get it done all the way through. And Seager comes around to score on that bases-loaded walk. It'll be up to Leody Taveras to keep this one going after they get back from commercial break. But Texas really taking control of this one right now. 4 runs in the third, a run already in here in the fourth with the bases loaded once again. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Texas so far. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Seattle. And just counting up just the walks, the Mariners have given up 7, and I count them, 7 walks. There's only 2 players in this lineup that haven't been walked, and coincidentally, those are the 2 guys that have actually walked the most on the Rangers so far this year. Grossman has a great eye at the plate. His walk percentage is through the roof. Corey Seager also gets walked a ton as well when he's not making contact on the first pitch that's thrown. But those are the only 2 guys that have not been walked in this one. Just an inspiring approach by this Rangers team to be able to work those walks, and not all of them are just 4-pitch, 5-pitch walks. A lot of these got to 3-2, fouled off a couple more pitches, took a close one that missed, and they got the benefit of the doubt. So things working in the right way for the Rangers today. 5-0. Gabe Spire, the lefty, coming on to face Leody Taveras. Taveras is a switch hitter. He'll turn around and bat from the right side. 1 for 1 on the day, has an RBI and a walk so far. You wouldn't mind another walk here? Well, we'll see. Spire's been very good for the Mariners out of the bullpen. I'm sure they were hoping to get Brash at least through this one and next inning, but that didn't happen. They got Spire here. I'm sure they're hoping to get him through at least this one and the fifth at this point. He's thrown on back-to-back days now. I doubt they have him do more than just the fifth inning. I think that's kind of their best case scenario right now, is just see if they can hold it through 5 innings at 5. Another nice view of that harbor out there in Seattle. Beautiful day there in Seattle. One of my places I still really would like to visit. Mariners not bringing their A game so far. 7 walks through 4+. Yeah. But I don't think it's necessarily the Mariners that are giving up the walks so much as the Rangers are just earning them. It's not like, Andrew Heaney giving up a 4-pitch walk over and over and over and over again. We're seeing the Rangers really take it to the Mariners and forcing them to throw a lot of pitches and are working those counts. And yes, they are giving up the walk, don't get me wrong, but I think it's more on the Rangers, their different approach that they've had than what they've had the entirety of the season. And we've really seen a concerted effort to make that happen over the last week or so, to really start to work the count, playoff baseball style. Maybe that's Bochy's message to the team as far as the offense, is just keep working the count, because that's what works usually in the postseason. That one's a strike there. Swung on and missed by Taveras. 0-1. The set and the pitch. Another check swing all the way through, unable to keep it back, and chases that one. It's now 0-2. Taveras tries to get his mind right on that one. The set here, and the pitch is even further inside. 1-2. This time Taveras is able to lay off. After Leote, it would be Evan Carter, 0 for 1 with also a walk today. His average dipping underneath 300 now. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Another chase pitch there by Leote. And good job there by Spire. Not throwing a pitch in the strike zone, but still getting the strikeout. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Rangers. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Seattle. We go to the bottom half of the 4th. 5-0 Texas. Checking in on that Houston Astros and Arizona Diamondbacks game. Looks like they are still scoreless right now in the top of the 3rd. Looks like Dubon got a single here in the top of the 3rd. Then they had a disengagement violation that allowed Pena to get Dubon to get to second, and then we had a walk to Pena. So we are at first and second, nobody out, with Martin Maldonado up for Houston. Maldonado hitting 9th, Altuve waiting next. Maldonado, let's see what he does. Welcome in, Jeremiah. Eventually it will load. Yikes. Maldonado tried to get a bunt down, but failed apparently. And it's still runners at first and second. Watching both games pretty much simultaneously in between innings. Catching up on what's going on with the Houston game. Jose Altuve is up for Houston at the moment. 2 on, 1 out. Houston trying to take the advantage here early. Waiting for the Rangers and Mariners game to get back here in the bottom of the 4th. Heaney is back out there after a quick 3rd inning. This is probably the final inning for him. That one misses well up and away. Looks like the return of the wild Andrew Heaney is back. Had 1 inning of awesome location. This one's popped up high in the air, pretty much right on the line, just a little bit into foul territory, and Josh Young makes the play. First out of the inning. Heaney at 59 pitches. Like I said, I'm not expecting him to go anywhere near 100 pitches today. I'm expecting kind of his max to be at 75. I thought best case scenario, Rangers would hope to get, 3, 4, 5 maybe out of him. But he's usually a high pitch count guy to get through just 5. So 3, 4 was kind of the best case scenario for the Rangers coming into this one. Hernandez takes strike 1 there as he gets something in his eye or something there. D-backs are fighting for a spot 2, are they not? Yes, they are. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Nice fastball there, challenging Hernandez. Part of the reason why they went with Heaney than Perez is that Hernandez has really big numbers off of Perez, not so much off of Heaney. High fastball there, a little bit too high. Now 1 and 2, excuse me. That one finishes inside, 2 and 2. 3 1/3 innings so far for Heaney. Couple of strikeouts. 63, about to be 64 pitches here. The 2-2. Lifted high in the air. Shallow right field, going out as Semien, coming on as Garcia, and making the catch is Garcia for the 2nd out of the inning. Dylan Moore is next. Rangers looking to lock up a postseason berth right now. A little bit over 5 innings left to be able to get that done. Moore had that spectacular catch against Marcus Semien to end the 3rd inning for the Texas Rangers anyway. What a great diving catch he made. Had a walk earlier today as well. Takes strike 1 here. Wow, that's a mystifying call there by the home plate umpire. Another pitch, low and in, has not been called a strike today except for maybe 1 time out of the blue. And now we get another one out of the blue. Quickly ahead, 0-2. That one misses well outside. Missing location is Heaney. 1-2 now. Curious to see if we see the high fastball now after that changeup. We do get the high fastball up and in, but a little too far inside. I think they're hoping for it right on the inside corner. Not able to get it there, and it's 2-2. Moore takes his timeout there. The 2-2 pitch. Nice slider there. Well down and in, but unable to get the chase. Great movement on that pitch, though. 3-2. Another kind of a looping curveball or slider there, and lined out to left. Carter on the run makes the catch, and that's going to be the end of the 4th inning. Nice work by Andrew Heaney. Right there has got to be it for him, though, in my estimation. I'm guessing they're going to go to the bullpen. As good as he's been, I mean, maybe they let him come out and try to get the win in this game. He's been very, very, very good for Texas. I don't think anybody saw this performance coming from Andrew Heaney today. I'm pretty sure they all thought the score would be flip-flopped with the starters that were announced for today's game. Luis Castillo for the M's, Andrew Heaney for the Texas Rangers. I think they all thought the Mariners lineup, surely they would be the one that would be up 5-0, but it is not the case. 7 walks, the story of the game right now. And the Rangers have got a nice job of getting some base hits with runners in scoring position for the first time in like the last week. Check in on that Astros game as well. Looks like the Diamondbacks got out of that top half of the third inning unscathed. Looks like got a strikeout of Altuve with 1 out, and then with 2 outs they got Bregman to strike out on a foul tip. So back-to-back strikeouts by Merrill Kelly to get things done. Bottom of the third, Corbin Carroll looks like he's the first out against Justin Verlander. Ketel Marte is next. 0-0 the score there in Arizona. Not going to lie, I thought the Rangers would probably lock this one up in the opener of this one. Bullpen kind of blew it, of course. I thought for sure they'd be able to get it to, yesterday with Nathan Eovaldi coming on the mound. But we saw how that one went. 8-0 Mariners run away with that one. And just when we think we know baseball, that, hey, maybe the Mariners are the better team. Maybe they have the better starting pitcher, etc. They should continue to roll with the momentum that they built up, etc., etc., etc. And all that is thrown out the window 4 innings in. 5-0 Rangers in front. Gabe Spire back out there here for the 5th inning. Mariners hoping to at least get him through the 5th here. First pitch here to Carter, right on the outside corner at the top of the zone. 0-1. Spire brought in to face exactly the lefties at the top of this order. The 0-1 pitch to Carter. Another pitch dotting up that outside corner. 0-2. Couple of tough pitches there. Got to tip your hat to the pitcher on those. Might have been able to take them the other way, but those were very well executed pitches. Slider here misses well outside. 1-2. Spire up to 7 pitches now so far since he's come into the game. Remember, he pitched yesterday. Unlikely that he pitches through the 6th, so this is probably his final inning. Another one that misses low and away. A little bit more enticing, though, to Carter, but still not close enough. 2-2. Got 43 of you guys with us right now. Make sure you drop in, say hello, hit that like button, hit the heart in the chat if you enjoying the game with us. I know there's a fair amount of Rangers and Mariners fans with us. Good foul ball there. Another pitch located very well on the outer half of the plate. Remains 2-2. Spire looking for his 2nd strikeout. Got the strikeout of Tavares to end the top half of the 4th with the bases loaded. The 2-2 check swing gets the strikeout there. Another pitch outside of the zone gets the swing and miss. So the Rangers were patient earlier today, working the walk, etc. Now the last couple of hitters are starting to chase a little bit. Mariners starting to get some swing and miss. Semien 0 for 2. Remember, had that great play against him from Dylan Moore in the 4th. Or excuse me, to end the 3rd. That one misses outside, 1-0. Another one hard hit, but a little bit off the fists. And the left fielder, Moore, is there again. This time a little easier of a catch. Moves over just a couple of steps. And Semien is retired for the 2nd out here in the 5th inning. They still haven't shot the camera down to the bullpen for the Rangers. A little bit surprised if they bring Andrew Heaney out for one more, but they just might do it. Corey Seager digging in, 1 for 3 so far today. A single in the 4th inning and scored a run. Little nubber again down the third base line. This one does trickle foul. 0-1. Trying to beat the quote-unquote shift. That's against him. Pretty much will always be against him for the rest of his career, I would imagine. He is very much a pull hitter, but he's found a lot of success even with that. The 0-1 here from Spire. That's a strike right on the inside corner. Nice pitch. Well located. Spire's been very effective. Already has 2 strikeouts today. Looking for his third. That one misses well low and away. Bounces in front of the plate. 1-2. Trying to entice that chase. I imagine we're going to see that pitch at least twice more before another one in the zone. And we do, and gets another chase on that pitch. That pitch was working wonders for Gabe Spire there. Swing and a miss by Corey Seager. Rangers are down 1-2-3. I think that's the first 1-2-3 inning the Mariners have had so far. Go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 5-0 our score. Looks like Arizona still hasn't scored yet in the bottom of the 3rd. Verlander looking to get out of it without allowing a run. Tommy Pham got on for a second time in this game. Got a base hit with 2 outs against Verlander. Christian Walker is coming up. Is down 1-2 right now. Struck out back in the second inning, or in the first inning, excuse me. Verlander's looked pretty good by the looks of it. 35 strikes, 63 pitches. Although it looks like the Diamondbacks are really making him throw some pitches. It's only the 3rd inning and he's averaging 21 pitches per inning. But remember that Astros bullpen has been very good. Although Presley did give up a run in the 9th yesterday. As we await the bottom of the 5th to get started in our game. Another foul ball by Walker there. We'll keep you guys updated on if anything happens in that Astros and Diamondbacks game, but we'll head back over to ours. 5-0, Texas in front. Bottom of the 5th inning. See, looks like Andrew Heaney is indeed coming back out for the 5th. Faces Ty France, the first baseman, followed by Rojas and Haggerty. Looks like we got a pitch comm issue. Looks like he's now ready to go. 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, couple of strikeouts. He's at 70 pitches. Honestly, I'm a little surprised they're bringing him back out here. But I think the long wait time in between there might have given Bochy some inclination to, hey, let's stick with the hot hand. And even if we have to rest him a little bit, we got all the time in the world if we win the division. France is 0 for 1. Fly out in the or foul out in the 2nd, excuse me. Welcome in, Shib. Castillo, way to show up at the right time. Well, from a Rangers perspective, I mean, the Rangers made him work. I mean, it wasn't that Castillo was bad. It was just that the Rangers just made him throw a lot of pitches. And all the walks, he wasn't able to locate, etc., etc. Nice swing there by France, going the other way. Base hit. Mariners had the lead runner on here in the 5th. I imagine Rojas and Haggerty, maybe Crawford would be as far as Heaney will go here in the 5th. I don't think he would go any further than that in the lineup. Rojas is 1 for 1 on the day. First pitch, nice pitch right on the outside corner. 0-1. 81-mile-an-hour slider. Another slider well outside. 1-1. Pennant race baseball on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Some of you are watching in the East Coast or Central Time Zone. Now Saturday night. The 1-1. Another slider fouled off at the bottom of the zone. We'll see if we see a high fastball at the top of the zone. Josh Sborz, who pitched well yesterday, coming back from the injured list. Also, very much like Andrew Heaney, is very effectively wild when he's right. And when he's not, you know it pretty much instantly. Wow, that was an up and in pitch, don't get me wrong. But Rojas kind of slipped and fell and landed on his tuchus. I mean, it was inside, but it might have been an inch or so off the plate inside, but up at the eyes, so I get why he was bending out. But dang, he really wanted out of the way of that one. The 2-2 pitch misses just, and I mean just high. 3-2 now. Rojas wasn't going to be able to do anything with that one, even if it was a strike. 3-2, Haggerty waiting on deck. I'm wondering if Rojas reaches, if this will probably be it for Heaney. Hard hit, center field. Plenty of room though. Ranging over to left center is Taveras making the play. One away here in the bottom of the 5th. And watching closely here. Looks like they're going to let him face at least Haggerty here. They're going to let him face Haggerty. I imagine they're going to let him face Crawford. And then they're bringing on Sborz, I'd imagine, to face Rodriguez, the righty. Seattle sitting outside of the wild card picture, at least at the moment. 1 game out. Trailing Houston. That one misses, and it's 1-0. Starting him off with a changeup there. Heaney would be nice for long relief in the playoffs. I agree. They've tried using him as a short reliever as well recently. Nice off-speed pitch. Just off the plate, though. 2-0. This is for certain the last inning for Andrew Heaney, though. The 2-0 pitch. There's a high fastball, and I mean right at the top of the zone. 2-1. Can't like that if you're Haggerty. That might have clipped the very tippy top of that strike zone. Crawford, the hero from the last couple of nights, waits on deck. Little dribbler in between short and third. It'll be runners on first and second with 1 out, and we'll see what happens here. I imagine they're going to let him face Crawford, since he is a lefty and Sborz is the righty coming in out of the bullpen if they go that direction. But they might go with a mound visit here just to make sure they're on the same page of what they want to do with him. Crawford is 1 for 2 with a single in the first. Base hit here would get the Mariners probably on the board. A home run obviously would get them back in the game. Crawford's hit some big home runs over the last few games. First one here misses high, ball 1. Looks like Sborz is indeed ready in the bullpen for Julio Rodriguez. Worried about Eovaldi not having one good start since coming back. Well, he was good in the first 2 innings. High, hard, made some good contact there, but it falls. And kind of a blooper reel for the Rangers on that one. It just kind of landed in the triangle. Semien was trying to go out and make a play, but that should have been the center fielder or Garcia making the play. Garcia kind of tumbled over. Semien does as well. Semien kind of walking that one off. Wincing a little bit. Crawford kind of pounded his bat down on the ground, but that one just found enough space out there to get down. Bases are loaded now for Julio Rodriguez, and the biggest moment of the game now here for the Mariners to get back in it. Semien just wasn't able to get there in time. Garcia wasn't able to get there in time. A little bit of a delay here as Semien looks like he's a little banged up. And Bochy, after checking on him, is going to go ahead and make a pitching change. Looks like that is indeed it for Andrew Heaney. Josh Sborz is coming on. Bases loaded for the Mariners. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Rangers lead at 5-0. 6 hits for the Rangers, 5 for the Mariners. This is the best opportunity the Mariners have had so far. And good effort today from Heaney. 85 pitches, well above what I thought he was going to be able to throw today. Able to give him 4 1/3 shutout. That catch by Dylan Moore is still looking very, very large right now. And if the Mariners are able to come back and win, that's the point in the game where you can say Mariners don't win if they don't make that catch. Pesky Mariners won't go away. Well, yeah, that's what they do. The heck is Bruce doing? Well, he's going to the bullpen like he should. A little surprised Sborz is the choice here. But maybe they want the power arm coming in against Rodriguez. That and the movement. Going with stuff against Julio Rodriguez. I do worry about his command coming out of the bullpen, because if he gives up a walk to the first hitter, that's the first run of the game for the Mariners. So, curious choice here. I thought they might have gone with somebody who's really good as far as strike zone management. We've seen that with Jonathan Hernandez as of late. Avoiding the walk. I thought he would have been a good choice here. But he chooses to go with Sborz. I thought Sborz would probably been good coming out of the bullpen, maybe in the 6th when a clean inning, or maybe even using in the 8th to split up the lefties out of the bullpen. But that seems to be Jose Leclerc's job at this point. However they decide to use him. If they decide to use the lefty in the 9th, then they'll put Leclerc in the 8th. If they use Leclerc in the 9th, then they'll go with Chapman or Smith in the 8th. Smith looked really good his last time out yesterday against the Mariners. It was a blowout game, but he certainly started to look a lot more effective with the pitches he's been throwing. Got 50 of you guys with us. Bases loaded here, 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. Looks like we're just about to get back here from commercial break. Again, showing that replay of Semien colliding with Garcia. That ball just finding some open grass out there. Sborz is on. The first pitch here to Rodriguez. Misses a little low. 1-0. In 43 games, has a 5-7 record, a 5.68 ERA in 50 2/3 innings. 68 strikeouts in that time. This one's a high pop-up, shallow left field. Coming on is Carter. Makes the catch, and not advancing are the runners. They will hold. 2 away now in the bottom of the 5th inning. A big out there, getting the Mariners' best hitter. And just getting underneath that one is Rodriguez. That pitch was hittable, but nice movement. The late movement at the very end just made that go off of the end of the bat instead of the barrel. Great pitch there by Sborz. They better not put Chapman in the game? Well, why not? You think one blown save a pitcher makes? Nice movement on that pitch, but a little bit high there to Suarez. I mean, you gotta trust Chapman again at some point. And when are you gonna put him in? When it's 8-0 and you're just trying to build back his confidence? Chapman doesn't need that type of outing. Hard hit to third base. Hard throw over to first, and they get the runner. Nice job by Josh Jung. I thought he could have just taken it all the way to the bag and ended the inning there, but Heaney is fired up on that bench. Nice job by Josh Sborz getting the bases loaded, outs. Absolutely fantastic, and what a greeting there for Josh Sborz as he comes into the dugout. He earned that one. Chapman has given up the majority of our saves this year. Wrong. Chapman's given up maybe 3-4 games so far this year for the Rangers. He gave up one against Houston after being nails in his first 11 games. He gave up another one in... Was it against the Giants? He gave up that one against Seattle now. And I think he had one other one. That's 4. The Rangers have like 40 blown saves. 40. Leclerc's been responsible for a bunch of them early. Lack of command, walks. Same thing for Hernandez. He's been responsible for some. Sborz has been responsible for some. Smith has been responsible for about the same as Chapman, maybe a little bit more, actually. I was actually at a few of the games where Will Smith coughed it up. A couple of them to Oakland, if I remember correctly. Looks like Seattle's going with the youngster Edward Bazardo. It'll be Grossman, Garcia, and Lowe here in the top of the 6th inning. If I'm the Rangers, they're still winning 5-0. I'd probably put Chapman in probably in the 7th. Chapman has 4 more blown than Chapman, or Smith has 4 more blown than Chapman. Yeah, that sounds more like it. Like I said, I think Chapman's only got like 4, maybe 5 with the Rangers. Who was closing before they got Chapman? They really don't have a set closer. That's how bad this bullpen has been. They've tried using Jose Leclerc to come into the year. The original outset of this bullpen was Leclerc in the 9th, and then they were going to have Hernandez in the 8th. Well, both were terrible to start the year. The entire bullpen really was terrible to start the year. And so they went with the combination of Will Smith in the 9th, and then really tried to use him for multiple innings at times early on because they had nobody else they trusted. Leclerc has 7 blown. Like I said, he blew like 5 of them in the first 2 months of the season, and then they tried using him again late in the season, and he's blown 2 since the beginning of August, but he's been nails other than those 2 games. Smith has been here all year, yes, but he hasn't been the closer all year. He basically became the closer out of necessity more than anything else. He wasn't expected to be in a high leverage situation at all this year. I mean, no matter how you slice it, there's been way too many blown saves. Exactly. That's why I think this bullpen is almost a complete gut job after this season. There's only a few relievers that might be able to stick around. Leclerc has salvaged his season. He might be able to stick around. Sborz has had good moments, even though it has the high ERA. Grossman flies out to center here to begin things in the top of the 6th. But the Rangers really haven't had a bullpen that anybody could say is anywhere near acceptable for a playoff team. I'll put it that way. Have they gotten better performances out of some of those guys who were shaky to begin the year the last 2 or 3 weeks? Yes, they have. Hernandez was absolutely terrible to begin the season, and he's been significantly better the last couple of times out. Welcome in, Anthony. There's a few Mariners in here. This one's a little dribbler out to third base on the 1-0 pitch to Garcia. And 2 up, 2 down for Bazardo. Rangers leading 5-0, top of the 6th. Checking in on that Astros and Diamondbacks game. Again, Jose Abreu, a hard hit ball. Looks like they're going to get the 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th. Ouch. I think Feliz was the last solid closer for the Rangers. What happened to him? Well, right now he's pitching, I think, in AAA for the Dodgers. He hasn't been good for years, but we actually saw him pitch at the major league level not too long ago. actually listened to a minor league baseball game because I saw he was on the mound, the radio broadcast on the ML First Pitch app or whatever for baseball, and I tuned in and he was getting blown up by minor league hitters. But the last elite level closer the Rangers had, probably Jose Leclerc, before the injury he had. Rangers trying to be like the Mets and buy a chip. I don't know about that. I mean, look at their outfield right now. Homegrown guy in Adolis Garcia picked off the waiver wire. Leody Taveras, one of the top international free agents they signed years and years and years ago. Evan Carter, drafted during the lockout, COVID-shortened year, the 5-round draft. Everybody absolutely panned that draft, said it was terrible by the Rangers, and it might have been the best draft in the last 15 years by Texas, with all the players that they got out of those 5 picks. 2 of them they moved in the trade to bring in Jordan Montgomery and Chris Stratton. 2-2 here to Nathaniel Lowe. And the pitch misses high. Another 3-ball count here. Pitching is the key in the postseason. Yes, absolutely. But the Rangers have tried and tried and tried to develop pitching and just failed. They've been one of the few organizations that have failed worse than the Rangers at developing pitching. Foul ball again here by Lowe. Remains 3-2. Yeah, the bullpen's absolutely terrible, and yet we're still in line to win the division. Tells you how good the rest of the team has been. Yeah, I like that one, Mr. Kawasaki. Swing and a miss there by Lowe. Unable to make contact there, and Bizzardo gets the strikeout. Nice work there by the youngster. 1-2-3 go the Rangers for the second inning in a row. Looks like the Mariners might have stabilized from the pitching side at least. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. We'll see if they go with Sborz again or if they go to the bullpen. Appreciate you guys joining us. Check in on that Astros and Diamondbacks game. Looks like they've got a runner on second. Lourdes Gurriel looks like he got a base hit, stole second. And 1-2 count on the catcher Moreno, the guy they got from the Toronto Blue Jays. And this one he grounds out to short to end the inning. So to the top of the 5th, Houston leads at 1-0 against the Diamondbacks. In our game, the Rangers lead at 5-0 as they go to the bottom of the 6th against Seattle. Bizzardo is a stud. I don't know, I haven't seen too much of him lately. Our bullpen is not how it started early in the year. Absolutely not. Although funny thing about it is it's almost come full circle at this point because that's how bad it's been. They've tried one strategy, it failed. They tried another strategy, that failed. They tried another strategy and another one and another one and another one. Everything that they've tried to do with this bullpen has just fallen on its face at one point or another. Now, they had something going for a little while with Smith in the 9th and Chapman in the 8th for about a month. That worked really well, but they used it over and over and over again. And part of the reason why that started to fail is because they went to it so often. Chapman started to lose his effectiveness, and the innings just started to show for Chapman. That's why they gave Aroldis about a week off recently, and he's just recently started to come back from that. Looked good in his first couple outings after that. Of course, had the rough outing the last time out against Seattle. I do think the next time the Mariners have some lefties up here, we're going to get Aroldis Chapman up or Will Smith. Looks like Sborz is going to be the pitcher here in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Cal Raleigh, Teoscar Hernandez, and Dylan Moore. Right now I'm going to go ahead and say Chapman's probably the guy Bochy has selected for the 7th inning. First pitch here, dribbled out to second base. Nice sliding stop there by Simeon for the first out here. Sborz has gotten 3 outs on 5 pitches. Been very effective and economical with that repertoire today. Teoscar is next. 0 for 2 with a strikeout. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . The set here by Spores, and the pitch. Right at the bottom zone, maybe a little bit below it. Looked a little bit low on the telecast. I'll have to look at the game day to see where they actually pegged that one at. Close enough, but they haven't been calling that a whole lot in this one. This one's lifted foul by Hernandez, and it's quickly 0-2. See if they go with a high fastball here. I don't like the idea of wasting a pitch right here. I like the idea of going hard up and in with a fastball. But they go with another breaking ball low and away. Another tapper out to second. Simeon flips on to first. Second out of the inning. What do I know? Spores has been very good. Inning and a third so far. Only 8 pitches thrown. Came into a bases loaded tough situation and got the job done. This was a great way for him to get some good run with Bruce Bochy, as he did earlier this year. He was given quite a bit of leeway because of all the stuff that he does have. Rangers knew they had something once they picked him off the Dodgers because of all the ability that he has. Looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter here. Kelenic has come on for Dylan Moore. Takes ball 1. But he can be erratic, and that's always been the issue with him. Came into spring training. It was a lot more effective and a lot less wild when he came in, and has earned his role out in that bullpen, even with the inflated ERA. Again, all of that's pretty much from 4 games. Hard hit ball by Kelenic, and Adolis gets that one. Base hit here for the Mariners. We'll see if this will do it here for Spores, or if they go with him for one more hitter. Our bullpen is not how it started early in the year. Yeah, but it's getting there. J-Rod is great when the game isn't on the line. Interesting. Ty France is up. Could be the final hitter for Spores. That one misses a little high, 1-0. Rojas is on deck, the lefty. I'm sure they've already got a lefty ready to go. This one's popped up. Fist pump there by Spores. Coming on is Garcia and makes the catch. This time doesn't lose that one in the lights. And that's the third out of the inning. Inning and 2/3 by Josh Spores. Absolutely filthy stuff, as always. Working very quickly. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Texas. No runs, 6 hits, no errors for Seattle. Difference in the game has got to be the walks that the Seattle Mariners have given up or that the Rangers have earned. But either way, right now, Rangers leading at 5-0 with a chance to win their first playoff berth in over 6 years. Seattle just trying to stay in playoff contention. Check in on that Astros game real quick. Looks like the Marlins have extended their lead now 6-3 over Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's a lot quieter than it has been the last few nights, I will say that. Looks like the Cubs are on top of the Brewers right now, making a little bit of a statement, trying to get back into contention. Reds are all but given up on the season at this point now, losing 11-5. Looks like Arizona was able to end the top half of the 5th inning on an Altuve double play. Good news for the Diamondbacks there. You hope the Diamondbacks give them a good game? Well, yeah. I think we can officially say goodbye to the Reds and Cubs. Reds, yes. Cubs, I think, are all but eliminated at this point. I would have said that about Seattle a couple of games ago, but we'll see what happens. Mariners sucked once we brought Jared Kelenic back. I mean, he was good in the early part of the year for you guys. But I mean, you guys really caught fire in August, and that's really when you took off. J-Rod was the biggest reason for that as well. A 429 average we saw earlier in that time. Looks like Kelenic's going to stay on. Looks like Bazardo's going to keep out there as well here in the 7th inning. Josh Young fouls off that one. Padres are eliminated. Yes, that is correct. Diehard Mariners fan my whole life, so I know what you mean. I'll put it this way. I think both the Mariners and Rangers fans have kind of a mutual appreciation for each other. Mainly because both franchises have had both their very high highs. You look at the Mariners with the 0-1 team, the Ichiro years, the Ken Griffey years, the A-Rod years, all those years. And, the Felix Hernandez, they got close at times to having a really high-quality team, but they were never the favorites or the dominant team at any point. The closest they ever got to that was that 0-1 team. Hard hit ball by Young to center, making the catch on a kind of a lazy jog there was Julio Rodriguez for the first out in the 7th inning. For the Rangers have never really been considered the favorite either, except for the years when they went to the World Series. The following year, they had a very much similar team, but they still weren't considered the favorites. There were other teams that were still considered, just as good, if not better. Bazardo looks like he's coming out here. Jonah Heim due up next. But, even as a Rangers fan, I still find myself rooting for the Mariners more often than not. I mean, one of my favorite players ever is Edgar Martinez. I mean, I just really appreciated the way he played. And then there's a lot of crossover between some of the Rangers and Mariners players. Talking about guys that go back to my childhood. Aaron Seeley, the starting pitcher. You talk about guys like Mark McLemore. There's a whole bunch of them. I just can't think of them. Mark Lowe, Cliff Lee. The big trade that they had that sent Cliff Lee to Texas in their World Series year. Some good connections in between the two. And then, of course, you have the Seager brothers. Kyle played for Seattle. Absolutely tortured the Rangers for all those years. Corey now plays for Texas. Kelenic is an overrated player. He had a solid 2 weeks before that. He was sent down twice. Well, I mean, he hasn't been good before this year. So counting on him for literally anything would have been a little foolhardy, I'll put it that way. But anything he would have given you, I'll put it this way, is gravy for what they were expecting coming into the year. And did they get their gravy this year? They did. Are they counting it on it to be the steak of their team? No. Dreadnought, Ichiro, and Hernandez were my 2 favorite players. If I had to pick my favorite Mariner, it would be Edgar Martinez. My second, Ken Griffey, and Randy Johnson, probably a tie for second. I mean, I really like Mark McLemore, but I didn't watch him much with the Seattle Mariners. I feel it for Cubs fans. Well, I mean, they had their day in the sun getting off the schneid and winning a World Series. They aren't in this conversation. Rangers haven't won a World Series. You're a Nolan Ryan fan too, so if it does anything for you guys, Rangers have one of the most hated and laughed at teams in MLB, so it feels great to see them back in winning ways. Yes, I mean, just look at the lack of, respect they even got from the national baseball media. You look at Matt Vasgersian, for instance, just the way he would scoff at the idea of them finishing anywhere outside of 5th the last several years, and I get it, they're a bad team, but even scoffing and not saying they're better than the A's or any other team, they couldn't, have a nice jump up and finish 4th, and then scoffing at the idea that they could sign Seager and Simeon, the scoffing at the idea that they could bring in a guy like Jacob deGrom, etc. Just not a lot of faith out there. And I understand the Rangers, promised the moon for the Rangers fans for years and never really signed anybody big besides Adrian Beltre and Shin-Soo Choo. But A lot of disrespect in the national media for him. Saucedo has come in for the Mariners, turning Heim around over to the right side. Quickly ahead 2-0 now. Used to think we were a Yankees farm team. I thought we were a Yankees discard team back in the day when they had Ricky Leday and Chad Curtis and those types of players. And yes, I used them on my immaculate grid the other day. Hard hit ball, right field but foul. 2-2 now here to Jonah. Congrats to the Rangers. Well, they haven't gotten into the postseason yet, but they're at least playing winning baseball. Max Scherzer sharing a laugh with Austin Hedges. Tapped foul again. Remains 2-2. Welcome in, Charles. Welcome in, Slinsky. Slinsky, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Slinky? I don't know. I'm a Jays fan. I hope we fall the last wild card spot so we play the Twins instead of the Rays. I'm not sure you want that either. I mean, I think the Twins are playing a lot better baseball over the last, 2 months. The injury to Carlos Correa does hurt them. But looks like this one's another foul ball here on a full count here for Jonah Heim. But the Twins are playing much better baseball. I have no idea, Charles. Another one lifted foul. A good at bat here by Jonah. This is going to be a 9th pitch here in just a moment. Did the Blue Jays win? No, they did not. They lost to the Rays 7-5 in extras. This one just off the outside corner, a little too far for Jonah to be able to make contact. He goes down as the second out here in the top of the 7th. We'll check in on that Houston game here in just a moment. Playoff baseball right around the corner. Mariners have basically been playing for their playoff lives for a while. Mariners own the Jays the last 2 years. Well, there's a lot of crossover between those two teams as well. Robbie Ray, Teoscar Hernandez, Eric Swanson. So that would be a good playoff series if they did get there. But they would have to face in the ALCS if they got that far. But good crossover between the two teams. Leote taps this one foul, and it's now 1-2. This one off the catcher, Cal Raleigh. Not a pleasant job being a catcher. We have the tiebreaker against the Jays. If the Astros lose, then no. Well, I think everybody in this room, is rooting for the Astros to lose for the most part. There's a few of you guys hoping that they win to eliminate some folks, but Mariners, in order to stay alive, if the score holds right now, are going to have the Astros lose. Two here to Tavares. Takes his time. Had a big base hit earlier. Also had a walk. Struck out. Kind of a mixed bag today for Tavares, but it's been good overall. This one finishes low. Now 3-2. Another good solid at bat from a Rangers hitter here. Curious to see how many 3-ball counts we've had so far for Texas. I mean, that was all we saw early in the game. 3-2 here. High pop-up. Right to the shortstop here. Coming in a couple of steps. Making the catch is Crawford. And that'll do it here in the top half of the 7th. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Rojas, Haggerty, and Crawford due up. Curious to see if they go with Aroldis Chapman here in the bottom of the 7th. Josh Sborz was very effective in his inning and 2/3. Shoot, they might keep him in there as well, as effective as he's been. Rangers owned us this year. Well, the Rangers, they've owned a lot of folks this year. The issues that they've had are all of their own making back in that bullpen, not being able to get outs when they're uh, basically given to them on a silver platter. The other thing is, as good as the Rangers' offense was, they really didn't have any come from behind victories for the first 3-4 months of the season. So, kind of a very unique season for the Rangers, one that I don't think any team ever will repeat. Not saying that they're going to win the World Series or anything like that. It's just very unique the way the Rangers have done it this year, and we'll see what happens. You guys are in the playoffs no matter what. Well, they got to win tonight still, so it's not over yet. Looks like they're going. Oh, wow. Cody Bradford is the choice they go with. Very surprising. I mean, he's been good, especially in these type of late inning roles, especially when they're up by 5 or down by 5. He's been very effective throwing strikes, and I guess that's what they're looking for here. Aroldis struggled throwing strikes earlier this series against the Mariners, so I guess that's the reason why they're going with Bradford here as the lefty out of the bullpen and not Burke, who usually doesn't pitch on back-to-back days, so I didn't think he was going to be available anyway. But they're going with Bradford over bringing in Aroldis Chapman. Now, they could still go with Chapman later in the game, absolutely, but a little bit surprising that they're going with Bradford instead of Chapman here in the 7th. We own the Astros this season, but the Rangers are the kryptonite, yeah. What's the worst team that will make the playoffs? The worst bullpen ever, probably, of any contender to make it to the postseason. Contender meaning not just a team that's going to get in and get swept in the first round, but Texas has the offense to be able to win a series. But the worst bullpen of any contender, I think, to ever make the postseason, I think the Rangers are right up there. First pitch here, strike at the bottom of the zone here to Rojas. Bradford this year, 19 games, has only surrendered 12 walks. This one misses up and in, 1-1. Guys won the series against the Mariners, though, didn't they? Yes, they did. Rojas 1 for 2 on the day, had a single back in the second. This one misses low and away, 2-1. I don't like this start here for Bradford. Usually he's very effective out of the bullpen throwing strikes right away. Don't need to see him nibble here. Now 3-1 as that one misses well outside. Heim tells him to settle down just a little bit. It is a 5-0 game, so maybe this is a good opportunity to at least get him out there, eat some innings. Time here requested by Rojas, 3-1. Foul ball, fastball right down the middle, lashed down the third base line, well out of play. Full count. Yeah, the Rangers did get beat pretty good by the Stros in Texas. Earlier in the season it was more competitive, but that series against Houston, that was an absolute blitzkrieg. I think the Astros had more than 10 runs in all 3 games. Rangers barely mounted anything more than a fist. 3-2 once again. Fouled off. Another fastball right down the middle. Bradford not letting him beat him by taking a walk. That's assuming they all ended tie, though. Yeah, I don't think all the teams will tie. Little tapper here to first. Lowe gets it, and the sprint to first is won by Lowe. One away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bradford gets the first out. It'll be Haggerty next, followed by J.P. Crawford. I don't think we have to worry about that being an issue, Charles. Am I telling you there's a chance, Anthony? Well, there's always a chance, especially against this bullpen. Which would describe the Rangers bullpen. I don't know about Dumb and Dumber, but I would say more like, the blind leading the blind, maybe? I mean, the Rangers have, all these guys have had a track record of success at some point, but all of them absolutely just fell apart. Or maybe a car having like a lemon, just a car being a total lemon. You might think, you fix everything in the car and it should work just fine, and for some reason, no reasonable explanation, it just falls apart. I think that's more of an apt description of the way this bullpen has really worked. 0-2 pitch here to Haggerty, and I mean just misses the outside corner. 1-2. That did not miss by more than a centimeter. Haggerty 1 for 2 on the day, the designated hitter today, hitting .256 on the year. The 1-2 pitch popped foul out of play behind home plate, and we'll do it again. You're in Vegas, headed to the store, be back. All right, Anthony, have a good time. But what if it happened? Do you think it's right while female playing men's sports are like baseball? I think they have their own, but, I don't make those types of decisions. I'm a guy with a YouTube channel. I think everybody should play the game and have a good time doing it. Appreciate it, Eric. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate that as well. If you guys haven't already hit that like and subscribe, please do so. Bradford's now got 2 outs here. 2 up, 2 down for Seattle. J.P. Crawford is up next. Probably the hottest Mariner in the lineup right now. Heim's going to go out there and have a discussion here just to see how they want to go after him. Understandable. Thank you for the like. Appreciate that. I'm ready here. Bradford's first pitch, right down Broadway. 0-1. Bradford coming right out here and throwing strikes. Right at the top of the zone. Fouled back out of play. 0-2 quickly here. Bradford being very effective right now. I question the decision to bring him out of the bullpen instead of a guy like Chapman, but I guess so far so good for Bochy. Another one just off the inside corner, fouls it off. Can't tell if it got both the catcher and the home plate umpire, but looks like both are fine. Looks like it got the home plate umpire. Jonah Heim saying, sorry I didn't block that for you. Oh and 2. Another fastball at the top of the zone, fouled off, and it remains 0-2. Appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Enjoying a pretty enjoyable game so far if you're a Ranger fan. Mariners trying to cling to their playoff lives at this point. Top of the lineup up, 2 away as this one misses outside. Unable to get the chase. That was a pretty good pitch. Nice slider, just a little too far outside to entice a swing. The 1-2. Popped up. Third base side. Heim is there and makes the catch. Third out of the inning. Fist pump there by Jonah. Another clean inning here for Texas. 5-0. They go to the 8th inning. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Texas. No runs, 6 hits, no errors for Seattle. Seattle's going to have to come up with some big hits against this bullpen, but they're going to have their chances. Rangers, though, still lead it 5-0. Let's check on that Astros game real quick. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Looks like Jose Abreu grounded into a double play. Looks like the Diamondbacks have gotten the benefit of a couple of double plays from Astros hitters today. Astros leading at 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back, Chris. Are we ready for more fireworks? Eek. It's been something to watch anyway. Seattle's always had something to say the last couple of games, so we'll see if they come out swinging. Looks like Verlander is finally out of the game. Phil Maton has come on for him. Verlander does give him 5. It'll be Pham, Walker, and I can't remember the lineup here for the Diamondbacks here in the 6th inning. Pham, Walker, and then Thomas. Maton has been susceptible every now and again to giving up a big inning. We saw that against the Rangers earlier this year, so if you're a Rangers fan hoping to clinch the division, this is your chance. 3 blind mice, that's a good one. I like that one, Dreadnought. Thinking of a nickname for the Rangers bullpen the way it's gone this year. I think the best comparison would be a lemon in a vehicle, but I don't know how you'd make that a nickname. Lemon? That doesn't sound like a nickname for a bullpen at all. 3 blind mice, that works too. The blind leading the blind was another one I mentioned. Either way, Pham is the first out there for the Diamondbacks. Rangers hoping they can mount some type of a rally there. Looks like we're just about back from commercial break. Texas leading 5-0 at the moment. It'll be Carter, Semien, and Seager. Looks like they're going to go with Munoz out of the bullpen to replace Saucedo. Surprised they're not going to leave Saucedo in there with the lefties coming up. Pet Shop Boys, First pitch here to Carter, fouled back. 99 off the radar gun for Munoz. 51 games, 48 innings pitched, a 2.81 ERA, 65 strikeouts in those 51 games. That's impressive. Sinker misses in the dirt. 1-1. Got 60 plus of you guys watching right now. Make sure you guys hit that heart in the chat. Like the video and hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Again, we'll have some football for you guys very likely tomorrow afternoon. Buffalo and Miami. Should be a fun one at noon, so make sure you join us for that one. If by some miracle Seattle comes back and wins it, instead of doing that football game, we'll have the finale of this series, Texas versus Seattle. So make sure you join us. Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever they want to call themselves, at UpsideSN. Thank you for the heart. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that as well. 3-1 here to Evan Carter. And takes another walk. Very patient hitter. Speedy guy is now on first base here with nobody out and the top of the lineup due up. Rangers looking to extend the lead a little bit just to make sure this one's out of reach for the Mariners. Just like we saw yesterday, the Mariners got up 8-0 in the 5th, and by the 7th, the Rangers basically threw up the white flag. If the Rangers can tack on 3 more here, you'd think the Mariners might do something similar, but they're playing for their playoff lives. They have to have this one, so I don't think they'll be pulling guys, but I think the intensity will all but be gone from this lineup. Semien 0 for 3, but a couple of nice hard-hit balls. Had a walk as well. Looked like he was going to get his 100th RBI earlier, but that diving play by Dylan Moore stopped him. The 0-1 misses outside, and it's now 1-1. Munoz so far 7 pitches, only 2 strikes. The set here by the righty, and the pitch. Hard hit ball into left center field. We'll see if this gets all the way to the wall. It will. This will be the 100th RBI of the season for Marcus Semien. 6-0 Texas. An RBI double for Marcus Semien. And like I said, that's going to give him another 100 RBI season. I think that's his first with the Texas Rangers. Great job out of that leadoff spot all year long by Marcus Semien. Beautiful work there. And this one likely is over. You still got the middle of the lineup coming up next. Nobody out. Now you have a runner on second. And that's exactly what you wanted to see. Look at the speed of Evan Carter, picking him up and putting him down. Woo! He's going to be good for a while. Looks like that one was not a fastball, but they're calling it a slider, but it didn't break at all and just kind of spun at the very bottom of the zone and then dropped. 1-0. So you're looking for his second hit of the game. This one's popped up, and this is going to get into left field. And Kelenic makes the play, I believe, is who's out there right now. Yep, Kelenic is in left now. 1 away. He's hit a lot of balls to left today. I don't know if that's the strategy for what he's trying to do right now, but he doesn't usually go that way. Maybe he's just not hitting the ball quite right. That could be the other part of it. 1 away here in the 8th. Texas leading 6-0. Robbie Grossman up, 1 for 4 with a single. Hitting .239 with 10 homers on the season. 100-mile-an-hour fastball there. Misses up and away. 1-0. The set here by Munoz, and the pitch. 101. Good velocity, but unable to control it. Now 2-0 to Grossman. He will very likely take a walk if you're just going to give it to him. Looks like Miami, that game has gone final. 7-3. It is nice to add a run there, Dreadnought. Nice one there on the outside corner. 2-1. Funny thing is, I believe they're playing the Brewers right now. Is that who they were playing today? No, they're playing Pittsburgh. Somebody else was playing the Brewers that was in contention. But in either event, they will play right now as it stands, Milwaukee in that first round series. 2-2 now here on Grossman. Swing and a miss. Chases that one down below the zone. And it'll be up to Adolis Garcia to tack on another one here. Garcia 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout today. Got 60 of y'all with us right now. Appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you guys for hitting that like and the heart in the chat. Remember, hit that subscribe. We'll be live tomorrow. We'll be watching the Buffalo Bills and Minnesota. I keep saying that. And when I was trying to make some of my videos earlier this week, I kept mixing that one up too. But the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills tomorrow. Should Texas hold on and win this one. Give you guys updates during the game as well on how the race is shaping out. 0-2 here on Adolis. Takes time. It's got some really bright neon yellow and orange cleats on right now. Kind of a new look for him over the last couple of days. The 0-2 pitch. Misses in the dirt, low and away. Simeon stays at second base. Simeon getting a really big lead off of second. That secondary lead, getting almost halfway to third. Got 70 of you guys with us right now. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it. Hit that like button if you haven't already. The 1-2 here to Garcia. 100-mile-an-hour fastball misses about a foot outside. Now 2-2. Munoz trying to keep this one a 6-run ball game at this point for the Mariners. Mariners, again, need a win tonight to really stay in playoff contention. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. It's not often we get a super chat, but I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Slactavius, I'm guessing, is how you pronounce it. Slactavius. I guess Slactavius would be more Roman. Welcome in, Mr. Hockey. Cubs or D-backs? Who has the tiebreaker? I think the Diamondbacks are going to get in, honestly. I don't think they're going to have to get to that tiebreaker issue. Nice pitch there by Suarez. Gets a swing and a miss by Garcia. And down go the Rangers, but they do tack on an insurance run there. It'll be the 2-3-4 for Seattle. Rodriguez, Suarez, and Raleigh. My guess is we'll see Jose Leclerc out of the bullpen for Texas to face these right-handers. Welcome back, Roblox Kid. Appreciate you guys joining us. Feel free to hit that like button. Spam that heart in the chat if you don't mind. It really does help us out. Got a couple of Blue Jays fans watching this game intently. Playoff positioning paramount right now. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. Saw some of those numbers start to jump up. Thank you for those. Really do appreciate it. Let's check in on that Astros game real quick. Looks like Arizona was unable to get a run across. One run, 5 hits, no errors for Houston in that one. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Arizona. They did chase Verlander after 5, though, so they're at least in the bullpen. Got to think they have a better chance against the bullpen of the Astros rather than Justin Verlander, even though they were making him work. Welcome in, Kat. Appreciate you joining us. Cannot wait to hear the A-Town go crazy. It's been a fun year of baseball with you guys. Really appreciate all the support we've gained this year and last, growing this community. A lot of this is from baseball, so I know a lot of you guys joined our coverage through the trade deadline of last year and this year, through our live game coverage and some of our short content videos that we put out. So we really do appreciate it. So thank you guys for joining us as we wind down this baseball season. We're going to get quite a bit into the NFL season here in the next week or two. And then NHL begins here in about 2 weeks as well. We'll be bringing you a few live postseason baseball games, bringing you some more football as well. And then basketball kicks off here at the end of the month of October. Julio Rodriguez is digging in as they come back from commercial break. That was the part of the graphic they missed earlier. In his first 2 seasons, he's the one of only 2 Mariners to ever do that with 25-plus home runs and 25 stolen bases. A-Rod was the other. First pitch misses here. Looks like Bradford is continuing to throw to Rodriguez. Surprised they didn't go after Jose Leclerc there, but I guess they're trying to get some length out of Bradford. Not sure what they're going to do tomorrow. Oh, A is for Arlington. I was wondering for a second. I was like, Atlanta? I haven't seen anybody mention Atlanta. Usually everybody refers to A-Town as Atlanta. Those of you who are wrestling fans, Austin Theory, A-Town, all that. Don't blame Kelenic. Munoz should never have been a closer. Should have traded for a better closer if we got rid of Sewald. Scott Zervis should take responsibility for bad coaching. Bad coaching? Okay, I understand the reason why you're saying that, Albert. You're seeing the team through post-trade deadline eyes. At the deadline, was Seattle anywhere near playoff contention? No, they were well outside of playoff contention. I think they were like 7 games back. They were climbing a little bit in the standings, but they were still at least 5+ games out of the wild card contention. And you saw how aggressive the Angels were to bring in some pieces as Rodriguez strikes out there. Nice work by Bradford. But looking at it through, hindsight, 2020, etc., maybe you shouldn't have gotten rid of Sewald, but you have so many relief options out there, you had the ability to do so, and you brought in some nice pieces along the way, but they were selling at the deadline from a position of strength. They didn't lose anything, really. I think Sewald was very good for them as a closer, but I don't think that they really squandered the season by getting rid of Sewald. Could it have meant the difference in losing and winning or losing 1 game, maybe? Sure. And that could be the difference from getting into the postseason and not. But were they really going to make a big difference, to win a World Series or not? I don't think so. And this team really overperformed in August and September to even get back into contention, to take the lead in the division for a period of time. Remember, the Rangers were 3 games back at one point in late August, and now have the now lead the division. So, but by and large, the Rangers have led this division from start to finish, aside from the about 3 weeks here in late August, early September. Hard hit ball by Suarez. This one's lined out to left and gone. The shutout is over. Mariners are on the board. Eugenio Suarez absolutely clobbers this one to at least get things going for the Mariners. And like I said earlier, you never know with this bullpen for Texas just how far it's going to go. Right now they get through 7 1/3 without giving up a run. And here's the first run of the game for Seattle. 6-1, Texas in front. Cal Raleigh up next. He has prodigious power as well from that catcher spot with 30 home runs as he hoists the trident. Raleigh is 0 for 3 on the day. Curious to see how far they let Bradford go now. Thank you, Austin. I think that's the first time I've had somebody say that in the chat. Rooting for Rangers as if they win because if they win, the Jays clinch a playoff spot. That ball was crushed by Suarez, though, as they show the replay. First bit of positive news for them, aside from that sliding or diving catch anyway by Dylan Moore. Probably the 2 plays of the game right now for them. Their pitching staff has done well to at least, fight as hard as they did to try to keep it going. Cowtown, Fort Worth, A-Town, Arlington, D-Town, Dallas. Interesting fact, driving from west side of Fort Worth to the east side of Dallas is about 100 square miles. That's the size of Connecticut. Yeah, it is the DFW Metroplex. This one's popped up high in the air, deep left field. Going to the wall is Carter, and then coming back in front of the warning track to make the catch, giving the crowd a whole bunch to cheer for, and then the deafening silence. But it does look like this might be it for Bradford. Bochy's coming out here. 2 hard hit balls. That one almost a home run. Would have made it a 6-2 ball game, but good work here by Bradford, giving up the 1 run in an inning and 2/3 in a situation where he's really not had a lot of experience, but a good performance there by Bradford. I'm sure Bochy will have a word with him after the game about his performance here today, something to build off of. And it is Jose Leclerc that they're bringing out of the bullpen. Maybe they just wanted to use him in the 9th, is why they were having him loosen up and have him available just in case they need him. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Texas. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for Seattle. City of Houston, approximately the size of the Metroplex. Well, yeah, Houston's the 4th biggest city in the entire country, so at least by population. It'll be Teoscar Hernandez next, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Got 70 of you guys with us right now. Appreciate that. Make sure you guys hit the heart in the chat if you haven't already. Or the 100, or the confetti, whatever you feel like. Whatever's your thing. Really does help us out. If Seattle comes back and wins, I give up on the Jays. Mr. Hockey, looking forward to a hockey season? I know I'm looking forward to my Stars, that's for sure. Checking in on the Arizona game. Looks like Kendall Graveman is on for the Astros with a base hit. Looks like Longoria got on first. Jordan Lawler. If you're a Texas Rangers fan, I'm sure you paid attention to some of the college baseball around the area. Jordan Lawler, a product of the DFW area, is on for the Arizona Diamondbacks as a pinch runner for the longtime veteran Evan Longoria, getting some speed out there. Leafs, baby. Well, your Leafs, I don't know. I mean, I thought they would have at least made some changes to that team. That's what I would have done if I were the Leafs. I would have made some bigger changes to that roster overall than what they did. Instead, they basically went with the same crew. I would have done something different. Just my thought. We're all Blue Jays fans, eh? Dallas is looking really good this year. Yes, I like their goaltending, especially with Ottinger. I'm a little bit questioning their backup goalie, though, Wedgwood, but he wasn't available for much of the second half last year. We'll see. Looks like we're about to get back underway here in the bottom of the 8th. Suarez just hit that home run to at least get the Mariners on the board. Jose Leclerc coming out of the bullpen for Texas to face Teoscar Hernandez. Hitting .258 on the year. First pitch, strike right on the outside corner. The best pitch he has right now is that Slombio. Looks like he went with the off speed there, hit high in the air, foul outside of first base. Lowe is there and squeezes it for the third out of the inning. And Texas is 3 outs away from their first postseason berth in over 6 years. Hit that heart in the chat if you're a Rangers fan, as they are 3 outs away with a 5-run cushion. They had the lead going into the 9th against the Mariners in Game 1 of this series. Were unable to hold it. Got to have a lot more confidence with a 5-run advantage right now. Even with that home run by Suarez, you got to be feeling good about your chances if you're Texas. Max Domi was a good addition for you. I like Matt Duchene for Texas. I've always really liked Matt Duchene. But I agree, Max Domi's really elevated his play. A little bit more of a two-way player than he ever has been. But it's going to be a fun 9th inning, everybody. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Texas. 1 run, 7 hits, no errors for Seattle. Last year, the core 4, you think Tavares signs somewhere else and it opens up a lot of cap? Possibly. I'm just not sure if Toronto would be willing to let him move on for nothing, though. I think they might try to re-sign him and then trade one of their other core 4. Nice work, Cat. I like those. Slactavius, appreciate you for joining us once again, and thanks for the super chat earlier. I really do appreciate that. I've only gotten like 3 of those since I started doing that, so I know I don't really ask for them, but I really do appreciate those when I do get them. As a smaller channel, you kind of every little bit helps. Looks like they're going to go with Topa here in the 9th. He'll face Lowe, Young, and Heim. D-backs might actually flop if they don't have a tiebreaker with the club or with the Cubs. Yeah, I know, Charles. It was probably one of the. I'm literally right here. It was probably one of the comments specifically. There's some keywords that are automated through the system. I have filtered for all kinds of different stuff on there to keep spammers out of there. It might have been something specific in one of the comments. Justin Topa is on. 74 games so far this year. One of the most used relievers. I remember when I got a lot of traction around the trade deadline, I was getting quite a few spammers, so I made sure I keep those on all of my lives now because I've got tired of those spammers. You should see all the crazy comments I get that are actually filtered on there, though, because they keep them for review, and I can either allow those comments later on to go in or not. Safe to say I don't even bother reviewing them at this point. That one goes to the backstop. 2-1 here to Nathaniel Lowe. Texas 3 outs away from getting their first postseason berth in 6 years. Seattle trying to stay alive in the for their postseason race. A lot of Blue Jays fans tuning in right now. If you're a Blue Jays fan, hit that 100. If you're a Rangers fan, hit the heart. If you're a Mariners fan, hit that confetti. And another diving play, this one by Kelenic. He does not come up with it. This one rolls to the wall. Lowe still going to chug around the bases. He's going to go into third with a slide. And he is in there safe. This time the diving play out there and left does not get it done for Seattle. I guess that's the difference between Dylan Moore out there and Jared Kelenic. But that one was just a little too far for him to be able to get to. Good effort, but he missed it by about a foot. That'll go as a triple there for Nathaniel Lowe. Again, if you're a Rangers fan, hit that heart. Mariners fan, hit the confetti. Blue Jays fan, hit the 100. Reds lost. D-backs are in. Yes, we knew the Reds would lose anyway. The Reds were basically giving up on the season the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure if I got that one right, but let's go Texas. Welcome in Craven. You look, D-backs have the breaker over the Cubs. I think the D-backs are going to get in anyway. 0-1 here to Young. Tipped foul, and 0-2 for him. Wow, thank you, Dreadnought. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. I don't be sending out money much, but it's been fun these last few days. You deserve a few bucks for it. Thank you. It means a lot to me, so I appreciate that. It has been a lot of fun doing this with you guys, and like I said, we're going to do some live football for you guys tomorrow if this one goes the Rangers' way. If this one does not, and somehow the Mariners come back from a 5-run deficit here in the 9th, we will have the finale of this one. But then we'll have some postseason baseball for you next week. Nice pitch right on the outside corner by Topa. Young knew it, was already turning back. Wow, thank you, Slactavius. Wow, thank you. Now you got 4 of them, sir. I caught your stream a couple of times. Always good vibes. Go Rangers. I really appreciate that. That's very nice of you guys. Like I said, smaller channel, every bit helps, but wow. I think that's probably more than what I earn at this level with this level of a channel than I've done since I started this almost 2 years ago. So it's a slow grind to get up to the higher levels, let me tell you. But thank you guys. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. I think I had 4,500 hours watched during the trade deadline of 2022. That was probably my best viewed video ever. That was before I got monetized, though, so it didn't count for anything. This year, the NFL trade deadline, at the end of last year anyway, I finally got monetized, but I think it was only like $3 is what the total I ended up making on that day. So to say that I haven't been doing this for the money over the last couple of years would be true. I would like to be able to do this eventually, but it's been really nice to, enjoy sports with you guys through this channel. So thank you guys for the support. Slactavius, I know you sent a couple of super chats in there. Thank you. And Dreadnought, thank you as well. You're in California, so you appreciate the stream. Well, it's nice to see that it's actually getting out that far. I know I get quite a few Texas viewers. It's good to see YouTube actually putting me out there in other areas as well when I do post games for the LA teams based there. The New York teams, I got a few of those earlier this year. Got a lot of Philadelphia fans and Toronto fans from games I did earlier this year. Fastball there, finds the zone. It's now 2-2 here to Leote. 6-1 in the top of the 9th. Welcome in, Jedi. Time here by Tavares. Again, hit that heart if you're a Ranger fan. Rooting for the Rangers to get back into the postseason for the first time in over 6 years. Seattle, hit that confetti. Hit that 100 if you're a Blue Jay fan. Let us know where you're watching from. The 2-2 pitch, up and away, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Not close enough. Another 3-2 count for a Texas Ranger hitter. Holy smokes, this has got to be the most 3-2 counts the Rangers have had in any game all year long. Welcome, Matt. Cheers from Hamilton, Ontario. Awesome. Strike 3 right on the inside corner. Leote kind of knew it there. Disappointed that at that pitch, but wow. The triple does not come back to hurt the Mariners. Last 3 chances here for the Mariners to be able to stay in postseason contention. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Mariners. I imagine we're going to see Jose Leclerc to take the 9th here. I imagine they'll have Will Smith ready just in case as well, as he's been good lately. Jonathan Hernandez, I'm sure, will be ready. I'm sure the Rangers are going to have a very quick trigger if Jose Leclerc starts to lose it. Shanghai, China, okay. Charles, okay. Annapolis Valley, Nova Scotia, getting some Canadian viewers. All right. That's one place I would like to actually go is Nova Scotia. One of my favorite movies is Jesse Stone, the entire Jesse Stone series. And part of that was actually filmed out there, so really like to visit that area at some point. Alberta, awesome. Appreciate all you guys having so much fun with this chat. Got a guy watching from Japan. All right. Longview, Texas. Hey, neighbor. Dreadnought, you're only like 45 minutes from me. Vancouver, Toronto, okay. Eric, welcome in. Appreciate you guys joining us. Jeremy, Blue Jays fans, remember, hit that heart if you're rooting for the Rangers tonight. Hit the confetti if you're rooting for the Mariners. Or, excuse me, yeah, I think I got that right. Confetti for the Mariners and 100 for the Blue Jays. There we go. Make sure you guys hit that in the chat. It really does help us out. Tyler. In Tyler. Got in Athens. Wow, we do have some people really close by. That's also like 45 minutes from me. Montreal, okay. Got a lot of local boys here. Welcome in, Scott. Seattle fan, hoping they are clutching the ninth. Well, I imagine they're probably the team you get to watch the most. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, so I'm going to try this. Okisk TR? I'm just going to call you OK. All right, here we go. First pitch here to Kelenic, strike one. Rangers 3 outs away from advancing to the postseason. Safe to say this team is on pins and needles right now. Rangers bullpen tonight, 3 2/3. They've been nails for them. Absolutely great start for Andrew Heaney tonight. Bullpen's only given up 2 hits. The 1 home run by Bradford. Off of Bradford anyway. Hurst, Texas. Okay, that's not too far. Well, it's farther, but it's still in Texas. The 1-2 now to Kelenic. The set by Leclerc. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 outs away from the first time with this core group of players to make it to the postseason for Texas. That was very, very big. Got the chase on that one. Ty France due up. 6-1 here in the bottom of the ninth. 6 runs, 8 hits for Texas. 1 run, 7 hits for Seattle. But all the walks are the difference in this game. Yee. That did not look good. France took a little bit of a spill there to stay out of the way of that one. 1-0. I'll put it this way. I try to encourage a good community out there, so if you guys want to have some fun with me and talk some sports, let's do that. That's all I care about. Let's just have some fun and enjoy the game. 1-0 here. Swing and a miss. That was a big rip by Ty France. Oak Island, all right. Real birthplace of hockey, Windsor, Nova Scotia. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Chased that one. It's now 1-2. Until the Mariners are starting to press a little bit, chasing at pitches they wouldn't normally chase at. France is 1 for 3 at a single back in the 5th. .250 hitter this year with 12 home runs, so he does have some power. The 1-2 pitch. Hard hit, but right to the second baseman, Simeon. Flips to first, and France is retired. 1 out away. Yeah, I do got to be careful with all the comments and everything. Community guideline violations are real. 0-1 here. That one off the outside corner. Rangers winning 6-1 here in the bottom of the ninth. Big moment here for Texas. If they're able to close this one out, they will get into the postseason. Their magic number will shrink to 1 to win the AL West. We'll check in on the Astros game after this one concludes. Two and one here to Rojas, as he's being a little bit more patient and selective here. Appreciate you guys joining us. This one's lifted foul. It's now 2-2. Jesus save me. Favorite NFL team? Unfortunately, the Cowboys. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and that's going to do it. Texas wins. They are in the playoffs for the first time in over 6 years. And what a big exhale the Texas Rangers have to have. The celebration is somewhat subdued here, as they are still trying to win the division. I imagine they're going to go into the clubhouse and see and watch the Astros game just to see if they win. But tomorrow they will have a chance to win the division. As I said, they are celebrating the postseason berth. Game live on Fox right now. Everybody kind of huddled up around the pitcher's mound, behind the pitcher's mound, between second base and the mound. Bochy coming out now. Rangers advance to the postseason for the first time in over 6 years. Congratulations, Rangers fans. You have finally conquered the mountain. The rebuild is officially over, and you are back in the postseason. Blue Jays fans can breathe a sigh of relief. Mariners, y'all had a great season, way above what y'all were expected to do, much like the Rangers. Y'all just came up a little bit short. I told you guys y'all were out when Robbie Ray went down due to injury, but here you are, 2 games left in the season with bringing it all to the table. Logan Gilbert had a great year for you guys, great strides in that organization. He very likely could be your ace next year, but we will see you guys tomorrow with Buffalo and Miami. Don't miss out on that one. It's going to be a great one. Let's check out on that Astros game. Last I saw, it was 1-0 in the 8th. Looks like that's where it is as well. And wow, did I see that right? Yep. Minnesota laying the wood to Colorado, 14-4. Wow. But Houston is winning 1-0. Checking in on that Arizona game. Looks like Mantiply is in there. Astros have a runner out there at second. Yordan Alvarez is at the plate. But thank you guys for joining us here this season. We will be live for you guys again tomorrow. Be sure to join us for that one. Make sure you guys hit that like and heart if you haven't already. Spam that heart if you enjoyed watching baseball with us this season. We had a lot of fun with you guys. We'll be live for you guys again, bringing you our probably the second football game, I think, of the year with the Bills and Dolphins game. And we'll have some postseason baseball for you next week as well. Congratulations, Rangers fans and Blue Jays fans. Look like y'all are in the playoffs. Mariners, y'all had a great season, way above what y'all are expected to do. Y'all should not be hanging your heads at all. Y'all performed very well, especially after losing Robbie Ray for the season. Congratulations for getting this far. Next year, hopefully you go even further. But great season watching some baseball. We'll have some fun watching some wild card round with you guys this week. And appreciate you guys. Those of you who subscribed, thank you guys. Thank you for all the new likes. And appreciate all the super chats that we've gotten as well. We'll kind of stick with you through through the top of this inning. But Texas looks like they're about to win the AL West. Seattle is out. Looks like they're not going to have a chance to get into the postseason. But thank you guys for having so much fun with me during this commentary. Yes, Anthony, thank you. I do try. Your commentary is elite, bro. Appreciate that. Thank you. But looks like that one is going to do it here in the top of the 8th. Hopefully the Diamondbacks can muster a comeback and the Texas Rangers can breathe a deep sigh of relief and win the division tonight. Looks like they're talking with Corey Seager on Fox. Looks like he's going to have his work cut out for him as pitchers have started to not even give him an opportunity to hit or find anything to actually drive right now, forcing him to try to chase pitches. We'll see how he does in the postseason. But Texas is likely to have Dane Dunning in Game 1 of the ALDS, followed by Jordan Montgomery. And then the performance by Andrew Heaney today gives you a lot of belief that this team actually does have enough pitching, even with all the injuries that they have sustained. This bullpen is still probably the most mercurial bullpen There we go. A good adjective for this bullpen. It's mercurial. Some days they're good. Some days they're absolute garbage. You're never going to know. And that's the fun with this Rangers team. As good offensively as they've been, the bullpen is kind of where, as far as they're going to go in the postseason, as far as this bullpen's going to take them. So we'll see if the strides they've made over the past couple of weeks are something they can take into the postseason or not. But thank you guys for joining us tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow as we watch the Bills and Dolphins around noon. So thank you guys for a fun season. We'll be live with you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys. Hit that like and subscribe. Y'all have a good night.